right, what's good, everybody? Happy Thursday. We are live, and we're also live during the Celtics Heat game, so we're going to kind of cover that. I know Fluent has to step away for just a sec to go take care of his kiddos, but he'll be right back with us.
I want to ask you a question. I'm going to leave in 1 second, but I got to ask this question.
Okay.
Is everybody in Miami doing this right now?
Yes. Yes, they are, Tone.
How's he doing?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
Sums
they're
it up.
doing.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys kick it off with what's going on in Boston. I'll be right back, and then
Okay.
You're gonna be more fluent. So,
all right, yeah, Jay. So, I mean, I don't know who you picked for tonight, but I think we both know that the Celtics they're hungry. We sort of saw them in the second half of the last game sort of look like the Boston Celtics that we know, right? And so what are your thoughts? Do you think there's any possibility they can get this win tonight, and could they win the series?
well, we'll rewind back to game 4, which was a statement game. What you saw in game 3, that ain't us. Okay, we gave up game 1 and game 2 at home. Okay, no problem. I understand that. We got outplayed. But game 3 was an embarrassment. And that can't be your lasting image of us. That can't be. It has to be more than that. And that's what game 4 was. We're not going out like that. So now the pressure is still on the Boston Celtics because every game moving forward is an elimination game for them. Every game moving forward for them. The Miami Heat have 4 games to win 1. Every game the Boston Celtics have to win. Well, with that being said, for every game that they lose and for every game that Boston wins, there's momentum that's being built. And when there's momentum that's being built, and the longer you let a team stick around, the more confidence they get. I mean, they weren't nearly as confident in game 4, even though they were confident that they could at least go hard. Not necessarily win, but go hard. But now we get to game 5, and it's early, but they're handling the Heat. And then that momentum goes into, if they end up winning tonight, now that goes down to game 6, where we already won down here before, which means what? We can do it again. Yeah. We can do it again. And if we do it again, now we got a completely different series. And I said this to you already, H. I think that tonight's game will be indicative to the rest of the series. If Boston wins tonight, we got a real interesting series going on. This is one of those situations where tonight, win or lose, a lot of things are going to change. Yeah, a lot of different things are going to change. And I'm telling you, H, it's one of my missions. You're gonna get on this Jason Tatum train. You're gonna get on it, H.
Yeah,
the ride could be a little bumpy sometimes. Yes, it can be, and some of the cars can be a little smelly, right? Yeah. But for the most part, there's a lot. The ride's pretty good. I'm telling you. So yeah, I'm gonna get you on. I'm gonna get you on this Jason Tatum train. H. I am.
Hey, look, this is what I wanted to say about Tatum. You know, he was drafted in 2017, and he's been to the conference finals 4 times and had 1 finals appearance. And we don't talk about that enough. And you're absolutely right. And what I've seen from him, you know, in that game 7, and then of course game 4. Especially with the absence of the Jaylen Brown that we know and love. He hasn't been the same. There's no question about that. When, you know, he's dealing with his hand and he just hasn't looked good. I'm not on the train yet, but I will give him his credit. I discredit him too much. He has a lot on his shoulders. It's just like with the team that he has, it's so fantastic. I think just the little steps, all the, you know, appearances that he's had, they're growing him into a better player. And that's obvious. And we're seeing that. But as far as this series right now, I agree with you. If the Celtics get this game tonight, it leaves that little inkling, right, in Miami's head of like, okay, they've won 2 in a row. What's possible when they come back on the road or when they come back to our house? And you don't want a game 7. That's all I'm going to say. Don't. If you get to a game 7, I'm going to have to take the Celtics, but I truly believe that they're going to close it out. Hopefully this game, although it's not looking great. And then of course with the injuries that they're suffering, it looks like Tyler Hero won't be coming back at all, even if they made it to the finals. And now this ankle. So this is a lot. This
Yes.
Miami Heat team is tired. They've been playing since that play-in series and now that play-in game and now these 2 series. It's just a lot. So what would you say if Boston can get this game possibly get the next game in a game 7, would you take Boston?
I would not take the Miami Heat. I can tell you that. Yeah. If we got a game 7 coming back home, and to add to your point, H, we're talking about a Miami Heat team that's depleted. So not only are you down your second leading scorer in Tyler Hero, you're also down your third leading scorer in the playoffs in this series in Gabe Vincent. And you don't know how long he's going to be out. This ankle injury could be significant. We don't know how significant it is, right? So now you got a 37-year-old, or you got I think a 35, 36-year-old Kyle Lowry who's got to play extended minutes, which I'm not sure that he was prepared for. And they had to dig into the bench. They had to go with Highsmith tonight, who is a solid player, but I'm not really sure if he's equipped to step up in the playoffs, right? So when I think about this Boston team, you look at a group who, from a talent standpoint, H, we're better than you from a talent standpoint. So why are we losing? We're losing because we're getting outplayed. We're getting outworked. That's what's going on right now. So if we can match that energy, we could absolutely get back in this series. But we got to do it one game at a time. What we can't do is we can't go, we got to win 4 straight games in order to win the series. Well, we can't think that way because that's a mountain that's way too high. That's a mountain that's way too high to climb. No, we got to stick to one game at a time. If we can win game 4, all right, we got them now and now building in game 5. That's all we're thinking about. Can we win game 5? If we can win game 5, then we'll talk about game 6. But let's just deal with game 5 right now. And H, after what happened in game 3, I honestly didn't think this thing was coming back up here. I didn't. I thought the series was over. After what I had seen in game 3, I thought the series was over. I thought that the season was over. I thought that they had completely given up in terms of a fight. Now, all of a sudden, here we are. And that fight, it looks like it's back. That's credited to one guy, to be honest with you, H. That guy is Grant Williams. That's who the fight is. That's who I think the fight is credited to. Because that's not to say that, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and these guys weren't ready to fight, but it was almost like they needed a push. They needed somebody to start the fight. And Grant Williams at least poked the bear and started the fight. Once he did that, the rest of those guys actually jumped in. Once they jumped in, here we are. We're back. We're right back in this thing in terms of effort. And they're handling Boston. Boston is handling Miami tonight. So I'm interested to see how this goes moving forward. I'm real interested to see that.
Fluent, we were just covering the Celtics, and it's looking rough right now. If they make it to a game 6 or 7, do you think the series could kind of be looking the other way?
So here's the thing. From the beginning, I said I had the Heat in 6. Now, did I expect it to go 3-0 and then go to 6? No, that's absolutely not the what I expected to happen. Yeah. But I think we all agree Boston has the better roster, right? And if they play hard and if they play smart and if they knock down shots, they should have won this. Like Jay said, they should have won this easily. They should have. They are.
I had them handling Miami in 5 games. I did.
When you look at them on paper, and that's why we play the games. When you look at them on paper, they're the better team, especially with injuries to Tyler Hero. Now you got Gabe Vincent out. Right? They're the better team. But we saw something from Miami against the Bucks, against the Knicks, and now against the Boston that they play the game as a team, and that's why we always say the sum of the parts sometimes are more important than the pieces, because other than Jimmy Butler and Bam has played better than expected for me, where I have Bam, I didn't have him that high. So better than I expected him to play, maybe the same or better than even some other people, but better than I expected him to play in the playoffs. So they got Jimmy Butler, who's not like a super duper star. Like he's a star player in this league, especially in the playoffs. Bam is a star player in this league, but not a you're not putting Bam in a conversation with Jokic and
we're not doing that.
And Giannis and those guys. You're not putting these guys in that conversation. But those two with a bunch of undrafted guys, a bunch of dirty work guys, a bunch of hustle guys, and they've been getting it done. But the one thing I said on the panel, I want to say 2 days ago before game 4, I think it was Ticket who brought it up. He said they're shooting like everybody's shooting like 8% higher than from three from their season averages. This guy's shooting 50%. This guy's shooting 40%, 45%. And I said, well, how long can forget a team, how long can a player keep shooting at that high of a level, right? Because there's a reason they're averages. It's because you go through peaks and valleys, and that's the average. Right. And I said, at some point, they're going to start missing some shots. What happened in game 4? 25% from three. I don't know the stats now. What's happening today? Based on the score, I'm guessing they're probably not hitting a bunch of threes.
No, they're not, Tom. They're not. But with that also being said, when you play like that, so for example, the Boston Celtics, when you live by the three, you die by the three. And if that's your entire repertoire, they really don't do much else, Tone. They really don't get much else going if the long ball isn't working for them. So with a Boston Celtics team that's actually cracking the three and they're hitting it at a 40% rate, well, that opens up so much more of their offense. It worries me, though, because when they're not hitting the three, they don't really do much else good, right? So they don't really have any interior scoring that they can go to like Denver does, right? They don't have anything like that. So they don't have a lot of other things. Jason Tatum he's a phenomenal one-on-one player, but the problem with his game is, and I've had this conversation with you guys plenty of times, where it's either at the long ball line or it's at the rim. There is no in between. You see how ineffective Jaylen Brown is when he's not shooting the long ball, right? I think he's 4 for 26 for the series. 4 for 26 for the series. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he's shooting something like, I think he's averaging something like 16, 17 a game for the series. That's a trend for him because his numbers has dropped throughout his career in the playoffs, but they've been significantly worse this series in particular. Significantly worse. So when I look at this Boston Celtic team, this comes down mainly to effort more than anything. They have to match the Miami Heat's effort. And if they can match their effort, they can get themselves back into the series.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 100% what's been missing. That's why they just haven't felt quite like what we're used to seeing from Boston. But you know what would be crazy? The conversation we've been having about Joe Mazzulla has been, he just maybe hasn't been the right fit, or he's driving the 3-point versus like trying to implement some new things or make adjustments. What if they come back from being down 0-3?
I'm still out on him, H. I am. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm still out on him. If the Celtics had
who are you out on?
Mazzulla, I'm out.
Oh, Mazzulla. Oh, yeah.
I'm out.
I said it earlier today. I'm like, even if he wins a chip, I think his job's in jeopardy. I'm not saying I'm not going to go as far as to say they fire him because when he wins a chip, if he wins a chip. But I don't think anyone is happy, regardless of wins or losses. I think what has happened is he is now, and perception sometimes becomes reality. Mm-hmm. They look at him as a bad coach. They look at him like he lost his players and they're just doing it for themselves now. I think you actually said, I think, Brown and Tatum were like, dude, we're not going out like this. Yeah. And they stepped up, not because of something he was doing, just because as a player, right, as a man, they had pride and they stepped up. But no one's giving Mazzulla any credit they gave him all the blame for being down 3-0. No one's giving him any credit for what we've seen so far in the last 2 games.
Right. And again, when I look at this Boston Celtic team, if they had the stones that I think that they have, and if the Milwaukee Bucks don't hire Nick Nurse, do they have the stones to hire Nick Nurse? That's the $1 million question.
He would be great for Boston.
I think that's his job, to be honest with you. Yeah. I think that's his job. 100%, I believe that.
Okay. All right. So on the other end, we have Denver, who is on a nice little rest right now. They cleaned it up. It was a beautiful series. They were by far the better team. Obviously, LeBron was dealing with an injury, an ongoing injury, which is, tough to see. But I think we can all agree that doesn't really tarnish his image, his legacy at all. Right. I mean, people, clowns will come out and say it does, but I don't think it does. So, but I want to talk about Nikola Jokic. This guy is fantastic. I think he's been underrated, overlooked in a lot of ways. Obviously, he's a 2-time MVP, almost 3. But I keep getting DMs. I keep getting messages about, people love to say, okay, well, if Jokic wins a ring on top of his 2 MVPs, and he's still in, I would say, mid-prime, early, I don't know, even know, early prime, mid-prime of his career, where would he rank all time? Where maybe when it comes to centers, where's the conversation for Jokic?
Well, that is a question for Jay, because my answer is going to be I'm not rating him anywhere all time until he's either done his career or like he's been in the league for 15, 17 years. I'm not ranking him. So take it away, Jay.
Well,
I eat some food. I didn't have my dinner.
Well, when I hear stuff like top 20, quote unquote, all time, what that suggests to me is that he's close to being a top 20 player. And I don't think that he's close to being a top 20 player right now. I still think he's got work to do. Oh no. Gabe Vincent looked like he did something to his knee. He's on the ground, looked like he hyperextended his knee, and it looks bad too.
I thought he wasn't playing.
It's happening.
Not Gabe Vincent. I'm sorry, Caleb Martin. Not Gabe Vincent. Yeah, Caleb Martin. He looked like he did something to his knee, looked like he hyperextended his knee, and it looks bad.
They're dropping flies.
But he's right back. But he's back up though. He's good. He looks like he's back up. But I'm sorry.
No.
So the point that I was making is in order to be top 20, in order to win the NBA championship, that puts you in the top 20. I've never felt like a guy goes from like 45 to 15. Well, wait a minute. If he's in the top 20 by winning an NBA championship, that must mean he was at least close to that. And if he's close to that, I mean, we're talking about a guy who's a 2-time league MVP in back-to-back seasons. So is that the same logic? Is that the same thing we're doing with Steve Nash? Because he was a back-to-back league MVP too, and had been to the Western Conference Championship. Had he, if he won an NBA championship, would he be in the top 20 all time? I mean, I don't know if I'm going to go that far. I doubt very seriously I'm going to go that far. But I think that I think that Joker. I do think that Joker, if they win it, I think this stamps him, because I already feel like he's in the conversation to be a top 10 5-man all time. I do feel like that conversation
is in that direction.
Yeah, I think that conversation is legit. And if they were to win the NBA championship this year, I think it stamps him, and I think it confirms it, because when you think about his skill set offensively, it's really unmatched. And when I say overall offensively, like, I don't think he's a better player than Hakeem Olajuwon. I'm not going as far as to say he's a better player than David Robinson. I'm not going as far as to say he's a better player than Moses Malone. I'm not going that far. But offensively, he is just something he's something different. The way that they run that offense through him, not only the way that they run that offense through him, the way they play off of him as players, how easy it is for them to get shots, how easy it is for him to get them shots and him to get shots as well. Tone, I've said this to you 1,000 times. Who he reminds me of Sabonis before the foot injuries. That's who Joker reminds me of. He's a lesser athletic version of Sabonis.
If we would have had him here in his prime,
had we had him here in like 19 when you saw him in '88 in the Olympics, if we could have got him after that, that's Sabonis. That's who he is.
Run up and down the court.
Yes, right. That's who he is. Like when he showed up to Portland in like '95, he was past that. So, I mean, this Denver team, they're all around one of the best teams in the league. I think that they're the most complete team in the league. I'm sorry. And with that being said, I think they got a great opportunity to win the NBA championship, and that's solely off the strength of Joker. Don't get me wrong. Jamal Murray is fantastic, and the way he plays off Joker is fantastic.
He's the one that makes that team.
But I think that Joker is the difference, and I think that he has something that there aren't other bigs that have.
As far as where Joker kind of is, like, career wise, like I said, I'm not going to rank him, but I understand where people are saying if he wins a title, right, we're talking about a top 20 player, because if you think about, when you rank guys, right, fast forward 20 years, right, we got to assume that he plays, because longevity is a piece of it, right? I'm sorry, you can't play 6 years or 7 years and then be put over guys who played 15 years. I'm sorry, you can't.
Why do people discount that, Tone? Why isn't that?
It's part of it.
They like to take their peak only.
You can get away with it, right? There's like the Magic and the Birds who did so much in a 12, 13-year stretch that, okay, you kind of make the exception. But there needs to be you have to do it, again, I use Dwight Howard as the example. You have to do it for a bit of an extended period of time, at least 10 years. So when you look at Jokic and you say, okay, so let's assume he's in what we said, year 7 or he's in year 8.
He's in year 8 right now.
So his first couple of years, But if he goes 12, 13 years in the NBA, and he, you know, assuming his first 2 years were then he had 6, 7, let's say, good years, 8 good years, and then 2 that were right? That gives him a 12-year career. Now, in that 12 years, let's say he achieves nothing else. And you look back and you look at his resume and you say, okay, he is arguably, if not, the greatest offensive big man ever. Offensively, when you include playmaking, gravity, scoring, all of that. Arguably. Okay. So the greatest offensive big man ever has 2 MVPs back to back, has also not only back to back, but didn't he finish second this year too? So there was a 3-year stretch where he finished first, and second. So again, let's assume he does nothing else. And he has an NBA championship. Well, when we look at the guys specifically, I'll look at the guys 15 to 20. Well, who are the guys in that 15 to 20 range for most people, right? We're talking Dr. J, Charles Barkley. Who else do you have? Do you remember?
For me, I got at 15. I got Doc. At 16, I got KG. At 17, I got Malone. At 18, I got 15. I got Doc. 16, I got KD. 17, I got KG. I'm Karl Malone. At 18, I got KG. And what is my top 20? I'm sorry.
Hey, listen, you know me, my memory.
James, George, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Russell.
That's why I have this pencil all the time, because when you guys are talking and I can't interrupt, I have to write down like a bullet point, like I'm going to say this next, or otherwise I'm going to forget it. Like I'm old.
I had to run over my top 10.
Yeah, that's okay. You know who's in there. So who are those guys? Those are guys who have an MVP, maybe, or 2. Right. They have a chip, maybe, or 0. Right. So, and they have, they were really, really good at their position. They might be two-way players. Like KG was more so on the defensive end, but he could score. But none of them in that 15 to 20 range would you say they were the best ever at this. I don't think any of them.
That might be the separator.
And that might be the separator. So that's why
might be the separator.
I'm not ranking him because, like I said, you know how I feel about that. But when I hear someone say top 20 and I look at 15 to 20 specifically, I say, well, there's no one in there that has more than 2 MVPs, I don't think. There's no one in there that has more than 1 chip, I don't think. There's no one in there who I can honestly say was the best at this part of basketball. So is it crazy to think a guy who's the best offensive big man ever has 2 back-to-back MVPs and a second place finish and a title? And again, this is presuming he wins a title. Doesn't belong in there with him?
We could definitely have a conversation about it 100%.
So
and since you brought it up,
crazy.
I got Moses at 15, Doc at 16, KD at 17, Malone at 18, KG at 19, Havlicek at 20.
There you go.
Yeah. So
there you go.
And Malone's got 2 league MVPs, no NBA championships. Havlicek's got
Karl Malone,
yeah. Havlicek's got 8. He's got 8 NBA championships, no league MVPs, 2 finals MVPs. KG has got a league championship and he's got a league MVP. Doc has got 1 and he's got a league MVP. KD has got a league MVP. He's got 2 league championships and 2 finals MVPs. Moses also has got a league MVP. I'm sorry, he's got 3 league MVPs.
Oh, 3.
He's got 3 league MVPs and a finals MVP.
Yeah. So now again, we're going to assume if he wins a chip, he's winning the finals MVP. Like unless Jamal Murray goes bananas, we're assuming it's going to go to Jokic. So he'll have 2 MVPs, a second place MVP finish, a finals MVP, a ring, and like I said, arguably, I'll say arguably, just so I don't get people chasing me down. Arguably the best offensive big man ever. So he's in that conversation. There's no one clears him in that group. So now it's a matter of what does he have to do to maybe get into the top 15? Now we're making a big assumption that he wins the chip this year, which it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good.
It's looking real good. It's looking real good considering how good Denver is playing, and a lot of people, and I said it before. I mean, the Lakers when they beat Philly in 2001, I mean, they had 10 days off. Now, in some instances, that could hurt you because the Philadelphia 76ers, they won Game 7, which was on a Sunday. Game 1 for the NBA Finals was on a Tuesday, so they basically had to turn right back around and play Tuesday or Wednesday. One of those 2 days, I think it was either on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. They basically had to turn right back around and play. and I've said this countless times, who would you rather fight? Would you rather fight somebody who just got finished kicking somebody's ass, or would you rather fight somebody who's been sitting around? Well, I can tell you who I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight that person who just got finished kicking somebody's ass. Because he's looking at.
I know you say that, but I'm like, it depends how much they beat him up.
Yeah.
No, because they're everything's going, adrenaline's going. You don't want to deal with that.
But
You want somebody who's out of it, who has to get.
If he has 2 black eyes and a broken leg, I'm taking that fight.
And now, if he's got 2 black eyes, and if he's got 2 black eyes, if his leg isn't broken, but he's got 2 black eyes, he's looking at you like, okay, come on, I'll whip you too.
Let's go.
As opposed to the person that's like, all right, so I gotta fight you.
Yeah.
So all right, let me get myself together. And
you know what they tell someone with 2 black eyes?
What do they tell him?
Nothing. He's already been told twice.
Good dad joke, foot.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
That's
good.
100%. That's a dad joke.
All right. I wanted to ask your guys' opinion on the Lakers. I know this is a topic that is long drawn out, especially with the LeBron, leaving little crumbs of evidence of we don't know what his next steps are. He might retire. He might just be, really not knowing what's coming next season. But my biggest question, I guess, would be, we've seen the Lakers do this a couple times where they have what seems to be a good core, and then they kind of blow it up because they want to win now, especially with LeBron still in the league on their team. They want to give him the tools that will benefit him to go the furthest that he can. Of course, Rob did a fantastic job of bringing in, these role players, Rui, Austin. Austin was there, but Rui and D'Lo and these guys that made it a lot better chance than what they had prior to that. Obviously, that wasn't working. So, Fluent, what are your thoughts when it comes to this Laker team? We've seen it where they traded Caruso, they traded those guys that were working, and then it took them 2 years to even look like they could even make the playoffs. So, what guys do you want to see the Lakers hang on to? And what are your thoughts when it comes to LeBron? Where will he go?
So here's it's so hard as a Laker fan to admit this, and especially and it's maybe even worse for people who aren't Lakers fans and don't know, because you would think they're the Lakers, right? Like you would think they're not a big money team. They don't have like Steve Ballmer money.
No.
Heck, they don't even have Mark Cuban money. They are a team that is they'll spend to a point.
Yeah.
And so the new rules that are coming in, and Jay says it all the time, it's the luxury tax is going from $1 for every dollar that you're over to $3 for every dollar that you're over. So just think about this. They had a pretty good team.
Mm-hmm.
And because to re-sign everybody, they'd have to go significantly over the cap. Instead, they chose to move Caruso, to move that group of guys.
Right.
Yeah, they were really actually. They would have been a much better team had they just kept everybody. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But they realized, hey, we have to pay all these guys. So now they find themselves in a worse position, because not only do they have to pay guys like Austin Reeves, who has earned now whether you believe he should get it or not is a different conversation, but Austin Reeves has earned a very big raise.
Mm-hmm.
They also have I think 6 or 7 free agents. Rui Hachimura, who's also earned himself a raise. Vando is a free agent.
Russell.
And then Russ is a free agent, or D'Lo, not to be confused with the Russ that's gone.
Right.
And then you have, I want to say it's like 40 or 46 million tied into AD, who you're going to get 50 or 60 games out of.
Mm-hmm.
You have 40 or 49 million, something like that, in that range for LeBron, who's going to be 39 years old. Now, still putting up numbers, but he's still 39 years old.
Right.
And so it's like, wow, what do we do? So here's the 2 options. You re-sign everybody and take the huge hit to your wallet that you may or may not be able to afford, as crazy as that is to believe, and run it back, saying, hey, we had the number 1 ranked defense from the trade deadline. And yes, we got swept out of the playoffs, but we got swept out of the playoffs because, hey, we need a little bit more shooting here. We need, a couple of tweaks. Yeah. We'll be fine. Right. Like I know the big thing is, move D'Lo, bring in Kyrie, and everything's going to be solved. I don't think that solves everything, but that's the big rumor, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Or LeBron says, hey, at this point in my career, I don't know that this roster is built for me, because you're not trading LeBron, but he might come and say, hey, I want to move on. Now, no, because he doesn't care about the Heat. When I say the Heat, meaning the blowback that people are going to say, "Oh, I can't believe they traded him to whatever." He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's never cared. So, and I actually applaud him for that. I love that he doesn't care because I'm very much like that too. You say shit about me, I'm like, okay, enjoy that.
Yeah.
You're clearly
people are going to talk.
You're clearly thinking more about me than I'm thinking about you because I'm not thinking about you at all. Right. So he's like that, which I love about him. So if he moves on, well, listen, let's be honest. You want to build a team around AD at this point? No. So that's where I would say if he goes, then blow it up. Then just say, hey, you know what? Let's see, whatever we're going to get for LeBron is probably going to be draft picks, and it's going to be salaries, right? It's going to be because he's getting $40-something million. Right. AD, I think, is still a really valuable piece. Like, I guarantee you there are teams, that are close, right? Like, I don't know what the offers would be. I haven't done any research, but there are teams like Minnesota, Portland,
Oklahoma City.
Is Oklahoma City that close?
When I say close, Tone, is I mean a playoff team, and I'm thinking about Oklahoma City in the aspect of all that capital that they have.
How about Memphis?
Or Dallas. Right? Like,
there's Dallas. Yeah, Dallas. There's a lot of teams where a guy that plays that kind of defense, who occasionally, like every other night, give you a really good offensive output too. There is a bunch of opportunities where, look, they're going to go nuts and go for him. So now, if I'm letting everybody walk, right, because I'm trading LeBron, I'm trading AD, great. Then I'm just going to accumulate a bunch of draft picks. I'm going to accumulate a bunch of young talent that I can, and I'm going to say, hey, what kind of team do we want to be? We want to be a 3-point shooting team because that's where the league is going. Cool. Let's let's make a move for. I'm using this name because you threw it out to me earlier. Let's make a move for Jordan Poole, and let's make a move for whoever Gabe Vincent. Hey, let's bring in the. Hey, we want to be a defensive minded team. Cool. Let's bring in whatever.
Right.
So they're really sitting on the precipice of something, either running it back, or of, hey, Rob Pelinka or whoever. Maybe you're moving on to a new GM, right? Like I don't know. But whoever that is, if it is Rob Pelinka, you get to swipe the blackboard, or I don't want to say blackboard because no one will know what I mean. You wipe the slate clean and start over. So I feel like I say this a lot, but again, if the big caveat is if LeBron says move me, then I'm all in on saying everybody out and let me see and start building a team. The way, like, if you look at Pat Riley, man, Pat Riley does not build around. He's built around superstars, but he doesn't necessarily build around superstars. He builds like, what are the pieces that can fit together, right? Like, what did they have? 7 undrafted players, right? If you look at the Warriors, now the Warriors got lucky, but Draymond was drafted, Clay was drafted, Steph was drafted.
Harrison Barnes was drafted.
Poole now was drafted. Kuminga was drafted. They didn't hit on all of them, and they got lucky on a couple. But I mean, that's when you see teams that are sustained success, not like a flash in the pan, a couple good years and then they suck. Yeah. Most of them are built. Look at Boston. Tatum was drafted. Jaylen Brown was drafted. Like, their best players were drafted. So that's really, if you want. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to get a title tomorrow. No.
Yeah.
But that's how you're going to build a team that's going to be good for 10 years, not 2 years.
Right.
And
go ahead, H. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. That was kind of where the direction I was going with this question, because that's what it seems like. And I get it. It's LA. LA has big expectations. They want immediate gratification. And I understand that's a different market than what you're going to see in like Portland or Boston, these places that you can have the luxury of growing these teams. But I guess my question is, for you, Jay, when it comes to this Laker team, I think you hit it on the head too, Fluent, where you said a lot of it will come down on LeBron. In my opinion, I have no idea. I'm just throwing this out there. I think that LeBron's going to stay. I think he's going to stay one more season. And then once Bronny, if and when Bronny comes into the league, maybe we'll try to like make something happen there. But Jay, if you were looking at this team, what would your moves be? Because we do see the Lakers blow things up and then they regret it. Like we see guys like Caruso thriving out there, but there's also, and maybe you can go into this, there's so many guys that have a lot more value because they've been traded. For example, Mikal Bridges is the guy that comes to my mind. I think Mikal is such a fantastic, valuable two-way player, defensively minded. He will pick up the slack at any point. So there's a lot of those guys out there right now, especially after the crazy buyout market that we had last season, right? It was wild. And I think we're going to see a ton of offseason moves that are going to be surprising as well this season. So, yeah, talk to me about what you think that the Lakers' best moves would be.
What you got, Tone, real quick before you forget?
Yeah.
I was just saying the Nets are a team, right? Again, again, I'm not panicking. I'm saying if LeBron asks to leave, the Nets are a team that they'll love the star appeal of AD, and you can probably get a Mikal Bridges and pieces. Like you could get a nice core to start around.
Yeah, the Nets have that good foundation.
If I didn't say it, I would have forgot. So.
No, it's okay.
Absolutely, Tone. I do understand that. So to start,
61-44, by the way, at halftime, 61-44.
To start, H. I think that we are in agreement. Not all of us are in agreement, but what we're not doing is we're not blowing this thing up because James is the moneymaker. So. Let's make sure that we're clear on that. James is the moneymaker, and if we're moving off James, that means we're starting over, and we're not going to do that. What I think we did, I think a lot of people did. I think a lot of people, when James said he has a lot to think about, they looked at it through a different lens. They looked at it through the lens of just being critical. Oh, he's taken away from time. Of Carmelo Anthony announcing his retirement. I can't believe he's doing this now, and instead of recognizing where he's actually coming from when he says, I have a lot to think about. So, H, I've been in the league 20 years. In the 20 years that I've been in the league, I've been in the playoffs 16 of those 20 years. That's 80% of my career. That means 4 out of every 5 years I'm in the playoffs. All right? I've been in the conference championship 12 times in those 20 years. That's 60% of my career. That means 3 out of every 5 years I'm in the conference championship. And we won it 10 times. That's 80% of the time that I'm in the conference championship, I'm winning it. 4 out of every 5 years that I'm in the conference championship, I'm winning it. Add that to the fact that I've been in the NBA Finals 50% of my career. So in the process of my career, 50% of my career I've been in the NBA Finals, 60% of my career I've been in the conference finals, 80% of my career I've been in the playoffs. H, this is hard, man. And I'm getting older, and this is the standard. This is what it is. This is the standard that I'm held to. And I'm not blaming anybody for that because this is the standard that I created. But this is hard. And I'm not getting any younger. And to have to continue to do this because I'm not one of these players who can just go the other way where now I'm getting bounced in the first round of the playoffs or we're not making the playoffs. Well, wait a minute. That's not what my legacy is about. Add that to the fact that I got a son that's coming into that's in college, and he could be coming into the NBA soon. And he mentioned again that's my dream. That might not be his dream. So we're talking about a kid who, well, it's bad enough, Dad, I got your name, right? That's bad enough.
Yeah, they gotta call me Bronny because
it's bad enough I got your name, Dad, and people are gonna look at me and they're gonna expect me to be as good as you, which is not gonna happen. I'm never gonna be that good. I'm only going to be as good as I can be. Add that to the fact that now you want me to get on the court with you too? That's a lot to deal with. And that might not be something that he's interested in. That's not to say that he's not, but that's something that he might not be interested in. So when we talk about him saying that I got a lot to think about, these are the things that I have to think about. Add all of that up to the fact, Tone. I got a wife I've been doing this for 20 years. She's probably looking at me like, when you coming home, man?
All he's done is basketball. So they're high school sweethearts, right?
Right. Since 16 years old. I've known this chick since I was 16 years old. She probably looking at me like, yo, when you coming home, man?
22 years. All you've done is play basketball. Can I get some love?
Right. When you coming home, man? When are you coming home? So when I think about this Los Angeles Lakers team, and I think about James saying I got a lot to think about, he has a lot to think about. I'm gonna have off-season surgery on my foot, which hasn't happened in a long time. Because again, I'm at an advanced age where 38 ain't really that old. But in the NBA, 38 in dog years, that's like 80.
Yeah.
Right? That's like 80. Yeah. There's people, man, he said it himself, H. I got guys in the league who I played against your father. That's how long I've been around.
A number of guys.
Yeah, I'm not playing against you. I played against your father too. So this Laker team even though he is the moneymaker, we already saw this season, and you and me had this conversation, Tone. I felt like this team was going to go as far as who took them.
It's interesting you mentioned something that I had not thought of, to be honest with you, and it was when Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. played baseball together. Ken Griffey Jr. really wanted to play with his dad.
Yep.
Like, I mean, he really wanted to play with his dad.
Yeah.
I'd never heard Bronny say, my dream is to get into the NBA and play with my dad. So now we may never hear what he's like, but if you, again, I'm saying you brought it up, so I don't know. But if Bronny says, hey, yo, dad, you know what? If you're waiting for me, I'm good. Like, if you don't, like, if you're ready, like, you have surgery, you don't want to play anymore, you want to be at home with mom, you want to go see Bryce's games, you know, whatever,
or your game or my games,
or come and just watch my games, I'm cool with that.
Right.
Like, as a dad, right? I don't think I think it's very unique. You have to be a dad to understand this. I'm sorry to everybody else, but as a dad, if my son said to me, I'll give you real life. My son said to me, Dad, like, is there any way you could coach my team? Because you're here all the time anyways.
Right.
I know what your background is, obviously. I would love to learn, and the kids would probably benefit from learning from you. And so I had the conversation. I said, cool, I'll do it. But if he said, hey, Dad, I'd rather you be in the stands watching and cheering, I'm out.
I'm out. Sure.
And I've said to him before, if you ever feel like it's too much, because I'm your dad, and let's be honest, I'm harder on you than I am on all the other kids. I said, don't ever be embarrassed to say, or you're shy, just tell me, and I'll go sit in the stands and cheer like I do, like with baseball, because I don't know baseball. So I'm just hey, he gets a hit. Like, I was at his practice today. He gets a hit, I'm cheering. He gets on base, I'm cheering. He gets, the second he runs in home, I'm like, yeah.
Right.
I say nothing because I know nothing. I go, I'll be that same dude, whatever you want. So again, not knowing, if he said, no, I'm good, then I could see, that's the one scenario where I could see him being like, I'm out.
I'll hang him up. Yeah, I'll hang him up. And to that point, you know, you're talking about what the Lakers can do moving forward. Tone, you're in the business world. You know this as well as I do. You know this just as well as I do. There are teams who will overpay for Austin Reeves simply off the strength that we don't want you to have him. Not because he's actually worth this money, but we'll drive the price up simply because we want him on our books and we don't want you to have him. Simply, or make you match that money and drive the price up to cause strife for you, as opposed to just letting you have him. No, there's teams that'll do that simply off the strength of hurting the Lakers. So now you got Austin Reeves that's coming off the books. You got D'Angelo Russell, who's also coming off the books. And you got Rui, who's also coming off the books. He's still on his rook deal. He's coming off the books. These guys are going to be expensive, right? The salary cap is going up.
Yeah, there's guys who have money who, you're right, they're going to offer them more just to
drive the price up. Just strictly to drive the price up and to hurt the Lakers, where the Lakers, Utah, for example, we might not even want Austin Reeves at $112 million. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to drive the price up just because we don't want you to have him. Simply up the strength that we don't want you to have him. So then you look at it, then you look at the Lakers and you look at James, who, again, he says he's got a lot to think about, but then the summer comes around and he's healed up and he's feeling better. Then that itch comes back. Itch comes back, and then it's September, and I'm feeling good. I think I'm going to go to training camp. Yep, I think what's going to happen. I think I'm going to go to training camp. I think I'm ready to do it again. Yep, I think I'm going to go to training camp. I think I'm going to do it again until they tell me. Because again, what we have to remember about LeBron James, a lot of people look at him as a businessman and all of that other good stuff. But at the end of the day, LeBron James is a baller. LeBron James is a basketball player, and he loves to play. And I could see that itch coming back. I'm not, like I said, Tony, he's got a lot to think about as of right now. He's got a lot to think about, but I just don't see him quitting. Not yet.
I want to get to some super chats. Well, I think it's still on halftime. But before we do that, can you see him going to another team?
You know what I can see him doing, Tone? And somebody had already beat me to it. It was on my mind. I could see him quitting, and then his boy comes to the league, and I could see him coming out of retirement.
That's what I was thinking. Like, or pull a Tom Brady where he retires but then unretires or something.
They take a year off to heal from the surgery and rest his body.
That's a good point.
I could see him doing that.
He was wine baths.
I could see him doing that. I could see him quitting for a year. I could see him quitting for 2 years and then getting himself in shape in the offseason and going, my son's going to play for, I don't know, Phoenix. I'm moving to Phoenix. Now, and of course, we're gonna have we have to have a conversation with the wife. Like, listen, I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna do this with Bronny. Talk to Bronny about it. If he's okay with this, I'll come out of retirement. Because remember, Tone, you just talked about Ken Griffey Jr. Of course, Ken Griffey, I don't think he had a problem with it simply off the strength that, you know, his father wasn't the greatest baseball player to ever live. So, I mean, that pressure, Ken Griffey, I'm a big Ken Griffey guy. Actually, I'm probably president of the Ken Griffey fan club. But Ken Griffey was a little bit different because he was touted as being that coming into the game as opposed to his dad. So, I mean, I think it's a little bit different in terms of pressure, but it was something that I was thinking about when I thought about James. Would he quit? And then when his boys showed up, would he come out of retirement to play for a season with him? Would he do that? Because he would preserve himself. I will tell you that.
I think that's a good point, too. I think that's a great point.
So, do you want to get to some super?
FIFA boy?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we'll start with that one, I guess. While it's still hot. FIFA boy said, happy early 82nd birthday, Fluent.
Come on, you 82? You didn't tell me you was 80. I thought you was 79.
Well, it's not until Tuesday. Not until Tuesday. Thanks, FIFA boy. I appreciate it.
Happy early birthday. He's always trolling.
Oh man, it's funny.
Troll alert.
All right, sports PSP.
I'll take it. Listen, if you don't say I look good for 82, there's a serious problem. So I'll take 82.
Okay. Who is better at their sport, Brady or Jordan?
I would say Jordan, because Jordan plays, and I'm going to say this for most basketball players, Jordan plays both sides. He plays offense and defense, right? Brady plays one position on offense. He doesn't play special teams. He doesn't play defense. I think Jordan is way more athletic. He plays on a team of 5, so he accounts for 20% of the people on the court. Tom Brady plays one of 11 on offense. There's another 11 that play defense. There's another 11 that play special teams. So I think Brady, because he's the quarterback, still has the biggest chunk of responsibilities of any other player on a football field. I'm going to go MJ.
I'm going to go MJ too. I think that Jordan, at the height of who he was just phenomenal all the way around. I think that athletically he was unmatched. Defensively, which is on the other side of the basketball, he was elite. I mean, Tom Brady's an elite quarterback. Tom Brady couldn't step on the field and play DN. He couldn't do that. No, we're not going to get Tom Brady to drop in coverage. No, that's not going to happen. So,
could you imagine him?
Oh my god,
that would be hilarious.
Oh my god,
but it is hard. It's hard to compare them. There's sports are so different.
It's actually interesting because I was doing some project and I saw a list of like all GOATs of all sports. Of course, Tom Brady was like, I think he was too. And Jordan was the GOAT of all GOATs, which is interesting because I think I would agree. He's like the most world-renowned GOAT.
Do you know what's funny though? I know this, we have a super chat up, but we'll leave it up there for a second. You know what I find funny? Basketball. So typically Jordan and LeBron, the occasional Kareem, occasional Kobe, but mostly Jordan and LeBron is probably the most highly debated GOAT debate over any other sport. So to have that Jordan as being the GOAT of all GOATs when it's the one that is the most debated, I think.
Isn't that funny?
I think that's funny.
Okay, Alinar, Celtics in 7. Rah.
Oh my gosh. Imagine.
Man, I would have laughed at you earlier, but hey, anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Double P, salute, Fluent, Chill, and Hailey, and RIP to the best running back ever, the GOAT, Jim Brown.
And I had a conversation earlier today about a top 10, and I got roasted because they talking to me. Your cousin is in the top. You told him you were in the top 10. And this is your cousin, and how could you have him in the top? This is your cousin. And I said, just so you guys know, Barry Sanders' father told Barry Sanders to his face, Jim Brown is the best running back that I've ever seen. So you guys know, he said that to his face. And this is his own son, who is awesome. He said, Jim Brown is the best that I've ever seen.
If we're just talking running, like just strictly running the ball, it is hard to say that anyone ran the ball better than Jim Brown. People are going to say Barry Sanders, people are going to say other people, but it just running the ball. Like, go back and watch. Listen, I wasn't alive, but go back and watch the tape. We don't have this era like we do here where there were plumbers back then, but like he really looked like a man running through boys. Like, pause. He just looked like he was bigger and stronger and faster than everybody else on the field. It was embarrassing. He embarrassed the league.
Tony led the league in rushing 8 of the 9 years that he played. Who doing that? Can you imagine if we had a dude running around in the NFL today who led the league in rushing for a decade?
And let's be honest. And then just retired when he wanted to retire.
I don't want to play football no more. Not because I can't do it.
I want to go. I want to be an actor. I want to save my body. Like,
I also want to play football no more. I'm good. I'm out. He was fantastic. 100%. Jim Brown was awesome.
Fluent, I know you played football. Jay, did you ever play football?
I played football my freshman year of high school. I played defensive end, and I actually led the team in sacks. My mother came to one game. The one game she comes to, I got hurt. She made me quit on the spot.
Because she was there. She saw that.
I don't want you playing this football. It's too rough. Yeah. I had to quit that day. She made me quit. So I had to start sneaking out and playing basketball. And the word got out to her that I could play. And she reluctantly agreed to it. But football, no, she was not trying to hear that.
I didn't even think of this. You've told me this story a couple of times. I always remember this story about my brother was like a star football player. And played like on offense, on defense, and was the team's kicker. So I believe he played, I want to say tight end or something, and defensive end, and was the kicker. So he takes, I think he catches it, goes into the end zone, touchdown. As he's going in, he gets hit and breaks his arm. Okay, so he's sitting there like this with his broken arm, and they're like, well, he's got to kick the extra point. And my mom's watching. She tells me the story like I was gonna rush on the field and pull him off, and they made him kick. So he's sitting there with a broken arm, kicks the extra point, and then comes off, and they take him to the hospital, and he gets his cat. I believe that was also his last game. But when she tells the story, I was gonna run on the field and yank him by his helmet. And
as a mom, sister, wife,
I can see your mom, dude.
Tom, the game was over. She was like, this football is over. I don't want you playing this football no more. It's too rough. I had to quit on the spot. Right then and there. I had to quit.
I love it.
Oh, man. Okay. Seth Malone, y'all the GOAT. Best show on YouTube. Thank you.
We trying, man. We trying. We trying.
Oh, yeah. Okay. PCP. Made my goal of super chatting in every PC show today. Thank you guys for getting me back into ball and pushing positive energy to hoop community.
That's what we do around here. Yeah, that's what we do. You. Yes, sir. That's what we do around here.
Shout out to you. Huncho, sup Fluent. Can I hear more about that Hakeem discussion that I asked on Insta? My dad talked about Dream like he was a god. Sup Hailey in Grilltown.
Don't Grilltown me. You just he just said in the comments. That's Ticket, but Grilltown is Ticket calling me Grilltown because he cooks me. And this dude Huncho says he would cook me too. You know what you could cook me? You could cook me dinner. That's what you could cook me.
Yeah, Huncho.
That's it.
You ain't cooking. You're not cooking anything. He's commented stuff on my video. We'll have you on if you're here all through the day. We'll have you on. You can come.
That's what the only thing you cooking me. That's the only thing you cooking around here is dinner. That's it. You ain't cooking me.
I'm trying to find Huncho, man. I'm trying to find the conversation. As you can imagine, we get a lot of. My DMs are open, and so we get a lot of. If I read you some, I love that. I keep the hate ones in a special folder. I go back and read them. F, and he didn't say F. FMJ, bro. LeBron is the GOAT. Your pages suck, old ass. Like I love that.
Yeah, that's the stuff. That's him.
I love it. No, that's not him. No, that's not him. That's not.
Top tier troll. Oh, that's not him.
That's not him. Bring it.
So I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I can't find it. I'm sorry, Huncho. But let's have.
Yeah, we can still. What are your thoughts on Hakeem?
We can still have a Hakeem discussion. I know you're a big fan.
I am. I'm a huge fan of Hakeem Olajuwon. Anybody that knows me, the greatest defensive player in NBA history, in my assessment. The greatest low post player in terms of a skill set. Hakeem Olajuwon could score on anybody at any time. whenever, wherever. I think he had a 10-year stretch where he went 20. He went 24, almost 25, 13 and 3 blocks, and that production went up in the playoffs to 27, 13 and almost 4 blocks for a decade, right? So he's the only player in NBA history. So in the 88-89 season, he did not make the all-league defensive team. And in the process of him not making the all-league defensive team, I think he finished that season with almost 300 blocks and 200 steals, right? So I think he was in the top. He was 6th that year in the league. He was 6th that year in the league in steals. He was in the top 5 in blocks. He was in the top 5 in rebounding. I think he led the league in rebounding that year, as a matter of fact. He did not make the all-league defensive team. It's the only time in NBA history that somebody has ever done something like that. Almost 300 blocks and over 200, not almost, but over 200 steals. This is a 5-man, by the way. This guy plays in the post, right? Took his team to the NBA championship on the strength of him being the best player, took his team to the NBA championship, led the NBA playoffs in scoring, set a record for the most points in postseason history, and doubled down and did it again the next season, which was 95, which was an even greater run. Hakeem Olajuwon was fantastic, man. He was incredible.
There you have it. I don't think anyone needs to Hailey unless you have something to add about Hakeem.
He was fantastic. I could watch Hakeem Olajuwon. I got an opportunity. When I was in Utah, I had an opportunity. Somebody knew him, and we ended up getting a couple tickets. They played the Rockets. This is the year they won the NBA championship, by the way, Tone. We had a couple tickets to go see them play the Jazz, and I got to see him play live. He was fantastic. Yeah,
this is all I'm going to say about Hakeem. I don't know how he's 107 years old now, and players are still like Kobe, LeBron. Kobe previously, obviously, LeBron. They still go to him for him to teach them footwork. You're going to a 7+ footer, a center, a 5-man, for him to teach you as a guard and a forward and whatever footwork. That's how phenomenal of a player he was. Is that when we talk about like the fundamentals and footwork and how important it is, that the best of the best, we're talking, I'm not talking about Joe Smith. No offense to that Joe Smith, Joe Smith, generic Joe Smith. I'm talking about LeBron, Kobe, like the best of the best, going to him and saying, "Yo, can you teach us? You teach us your footwork?" Like I think that's the biggest compliment I can give Hakeem Olajuwon, is when the greatest players of all time are coming to you for advice. You're pretty damn good.
And by the way, when the word got out that Hakeem Olajuwon was teaching footwork, it was like giving away free food because the line was around the corner. The line was around the corner. What? Olajuwon teaching footwork? Where? And the line was around the corner. Guys, Amari Stoudemire,
he should have charged money. He'd be a billionaire.
Right. James, Dwight Howard, Bryant, Carmelo Anthony. Line them all up. The line was around the corner. Olajuwon is teaching footwork. Let's go find him. Absolutely. Where is he doing it at? And we'll stay for as long as we can. Yes, he was fantastic.
I do want to let you know I got some more super chats, and then I don't know what other topics we have, Hailey, but I do want you to know at around 10:30, I got a surprise for you, Jay.
Oh boy.
Got a surprise for you.
Okay.
You put out a challenge and someone has accepted it.
All righty.
Okay, Michael Wilson, thank you for your super chat. Is LeBron James' longevity hurting his GOAT argument? They say that now LeBron is the only player to be swept in 3 different decades: 2007, 2018, 2023.
Think about that.
Congratulations, another record.
Yeah.
Listen, when you play that long, you're going to have a bunch of good records, right? Most points, most whatever else he's going to have, or top 5. What is he? Top 5 in assists or something. He's gonna, but you're also gonna have most missed field goals, most turnovers, not most times swept, but swept 3 times in the whatever. I think if you're being honest, right, you're gonna take each one of those records, good and bad, with a grain of salt, right? It's and understand that with the most field goal attempts are gonna probably, because most people miss more than they make. You're going to have the most misses because you've taken the most shots, because you've played at a peak level for longer than anybody else. So I think it's the people that love him are going to look at the positive. The people who hate him are going to look at the negative. And the people like me in the middle are going to look at them and say, yes, I understand why.
Right.
And now if I'm trolling, sure, I'll when someone says LeBron, someone said Michael Jordan only scored so many points. He was only the leading scorer because he led the league in field goal attempts. And so I'll have fun with them and I'll say, well, then the last 2 years, who has the most field goal attempts per game? 2 years in a row? LeBron James. How come he hasn't led the league in scoring the last 2 years? Mm-hmm. And they'll be like, you're a hater. I'm like, no, I'm just having fun with you because you're an idiot. So, it's again,
you don't like it when we got answers to your questions. That's the problem.
Right. Like, or no, I love using people's own logic against them.
Yes.
Right? Like
you have to.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm not going to say the name, but I just posted a video on TikTok where someone said the only thing that matters is who has the most career total points. This person, and that's why this person is better than that person. It doesn't matter points per game. And I said, well, if you don't look at everything, then you're not doing a good job. So I gave a bunch of examples.
Right.
And I wish I might actually have them. So let me know what you think. I have the examples thing. I think. Let me see if they're handy.
What's the score, Jay?
Lakers up. I'm sorry. Lakers. Boston up 19.
You're still playing?
Yes. No, they're not. The
they took them out.
Celtics up 19, and with 2 minutes, a little under 2 minutes left in the third.
Yeah.
This is actually looking like a two, like what happened with Denver and the Lakers. Denver and the Lakers. This is looking like a 2-8 seed. That's what it's looking like now.
Yeah.
Let's play a game.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the better scorer? Here, that's the game. You can both answer. Hold on. I believe we're at that point where I need to change the banner to the. Have you liked the video yet? Well, hurry up and do that. What are you waiting? I love that part of the show. All right, here we go. Karl Malone or Wilt Chamberlain?
Who's the better scorer?
Who's the better scorer?
In terms of totals?
No.
Just overall, who's the better scorer?
I'll ask you the question, and you can only answer with the person's name. No explanation. Who's the better scorer, Karl Malone or Wilt Chamberlain?
Like who is just their ability to get to
Malone?
Like,
You're just giving a name, Malone or Chamberlain.
Yeah, you have to pick. You have to pick. You have Malone as the better scorer than Wilt?
Malone.
Really? That's really. How come?
Yeah.
That's interesting that you picked Malone as a better scorer.
I think the separator is Malone's mid-range game.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I think the separator. Chamberlain, in terms of his ability to score around the paint, I mean, that's unmatched.
Yeah.
He led the league in field. I think he led the league in field goal percentage like 6 or 7 times.
So you're building a team of the best scorers of all time, and you're picking Malone over Wilt. I just want to be sure.
No, I'm not. Not at all.
If we were taking Will, Jay.
No. I'm a Malone guy.
It gets easier. This one's.
I'm a Malone guy, but I'm a Malone guy, but he wasn't a better scorer than Chamberlain. No,
it gets easier. So, but Malone has 5,000 more points than Wilt. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Issel or Kevin Garnett? Oh, sorry, Kevin Durant.
KD.
Well, Dan Issel has more total points than him so far, so KD's got some work to do next year.
Yep.
Again, they start hard, they get easier. Mm-hmm. Elvin Hayes or Dominique Wilkins?
Elvin Hayes.
Elvin Hayes, both Elvin Hayes. I got Dominique, but Elvin Hayes has more career points. Artist Gilmore or Steph Curry?
Artist Gilmore got more career points than Steph Curry does. He does.
I know.
But I'm gonna go with Curry. Yeah. I will go with Curry too.
Curry,
and he's not done yet.
Yeah. Curry needs to have some big time things. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Here's
and by the way, I'm going with Nick too. I'm not going with Elvin Hayes.
Those are getting hard. This is where it gets easier. So those ones are hard. Robert Parrish or Larry Bird?
Parrish got more points than Bird too.
I know.
But of course, Larry.
The question is, who's the better scorer? Bird. If you're starting a team of the greatest scorers of all time.
No disrespect though.
Bird's got more versatility. He does.
But Parrish has more points.
Yeah.
All right.
Parrish also played 22 years in the league.
This is the multiple choice one. Better scorer, John Stockton, or you have 4 people to choose from: Bernard King, Tony Parker, Jamal Crawford, Damian Lillard.
The better scorer.
The better scorer.
I think Damian Lillard's a better scorer than Stock. I think Jamal Crawford does have a bigger bag, but I think Stock produced a little bit more than he did. Who's the other one?
Tony Parker and Bernard King.
Tony Parker actually led the league in paint points more than once and more than twice in his career. So I don't think Bernard King did it long enough.
But it doesn't matter. Who's a better scorer? You got one.
So
season.
you're taking Dame over Stockton, though?
As a scorer,
as a scorer, are you taking Bernard King or John Stockton? All you need is points, nothing else.
Bernard King over Stockton.
But Stockton has more points than all.
Yes, he does. He's got more points than every last one. I think Stockton is like 300 points away from 20,000, something nonsense like that.
Eddie Johnson or Tracy McGrady.
Now, just so you know, Eddie Johnson, he was a solid scorer in the league. He wasn't great. Eddie Johnson played in Phoenix. Tracy
How
McGrady.
long did he play, though?
I thought he played in Seattle.
He played in Seattle too. Eddie,
that's where I remember.
He played something like 16, 17. He was the one who hit that buzzer beater on Utah in the 97 playoffs, and then they end up losing the very next game on a buzzer beater. But
I'm guessing he has more points than
Eddie Johnson. He wasn't the versatile scorer. But see, that's tough, man, because this is what I'm talking about in terms of consistency, because I care about your bag, but what did you produce?
You're looking at everything, right?
Right. I care about your bag, but what did you produce?
All right.
What did you produce? So with that being said,
I only have two more.
Right. Tracy McGrady was more talented than Eddie Johnson. What did Eddie Johnson produce? He produced more with less.
Well, Tracy averaged more per game, but
right. Tracy did average more points per game.
I can score in more different ways.
I think Tracy was a better scorer.
Okay, but Eddie Johnson has
more points,
1,000 more points than him.
Right.
Okay, so there's two more. So Bill Russell, remember, just scoring
buckets. That's it. That's all we're going off is buckets.
Bill Russell or Glenn Robinson.
I'm sorry, big dog. I'm sorry,
right?
Big dog.
Big dog.
I'm going with the big dog.
Bill Russell has more points than he does for his career. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I got two more. I'm sorry, two more. I do apologize because I forgot about this one. Who's a better scorer? Bill Laimbeer, just scoring, not longevity, not anything else, just buckets.
Buckets, just buckets.
Bill Laimbeer, you need points. Who you putting out on the court? Bill Laimbeer or Baron Davis?
I'm gonna go with Bill. I'm gonna go with Bill. I'm gonna go with Bill Laimbeer. Bill Laimbeer stretched the defense. He did. Bill stretched the defense. Yes, he did. He's one of the first stretch fives.
I'm taking Baron Davis, but okay. All right. Here's the last one, and here's the point I tried to make. So Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas is 59th all time in points per game at 20.66 points per game. Where do you think he ranks in total points all time?
I don't think he's in 150. I don't think
he's correct. He's not.
Yeah, I don't think he's a top 150. He might be top 200. I'm gonna say 180, Tone.
Hailey, where do you think?
I have no idea.
He's 59th in points per game. Just give a random number. Where do you think he?
So he's in total. So he averaged 20.6. You said
20.66. Yes.
20.66. Maybe like 200th.
309th.
Oh my God!
So let me give you two names, and I'm just randomly picking two names that I know aren't scorers. Would you say that Charles Oakley and Bill Cartwright are better scorers than Gilbert Arenas?
No, I wouldn't say that.
They both have significantly more total points. So my point of all this was, I don't look at just points per game, but I do look at points per game. I don't just look at totals. I do look at totals, but I also look at how they scored, how efficiently they scored, where did they score from, how, right? I always say you either look at everything or you
don't look at anything,
or you look at nothing and just say, hey, my opinion is Bob was a better scorer because I like Bob. So when I see stuff like whoever had the most points is the best, I feel like that's so elementary, and I don't know what sparked that, but I thought of it. And
a prime example, Tone, would be, just so you guys know, and H, you'll appreciate this. Steph Curry just this season just passed Scottie Pippen on the all-time scoring list. Nobody here would ever mention Scottie Pippen and Steph Curry in a scoring conversation. And Scottie Pippen was a good scorer.
Yeah,
he had plenty of 20-a-game seasons, plenty. But nobody here would say Scottie Pippen, Steph Curry in the same conversation when it comes to scoring. Nobody here would do that.
Yeah, and someone in the chat, Wootage84 said the exact right thing. He said Gilbert Arenas was a beast in Washington, but it was short. And that's my point, is there are other factors. So to say whoever scored more is the best, no discussion.
Right.
I say, well, hold on. If I played 15 years and you played 10 years, that doesn't, and you scored more points than me. It doesn't mean like you scored 10 points a game. I scored 15 points a game. I did it at 50%. You did it at 25%.
Right.
Hold on. I'm a better scorer than you.
And Gilbert Arenas had a 5-year stretch where he averaged 25. He averaged, I think he averaged 25 a game for like 5 years. He did do that. But then it just went this way.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there were some injuries and stuff. All right. Do we have another topic, or do you want some more super chats?
Oh, let's finish out the super chats. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. La, 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 la.
All right. Taquay White. Ticket said if Jokic wins the championship, he moves in front of Barkley, if I remember correct. Who he currently has at 12, if I remember thoughts. So Ticket has Charles Barkley at 12.
He has Barkley at 12?
You don't remember us having that conversation, Tom?
No.
Why?
Yeah. You know what the problem is? Listen, I'll admit this on our show because I know we have good people and we don't like look to troll stuff.
Yeah.
Our show's on from 11 to 2. I typically am able to join 11 to like 1:30 because I run 2 businesses. I run 3 businesses. I forgot about the last. That's horrible. And so what I'm doing is you'll see me like again with the pencil, and you'll see me looking at my phone. And because I'm getting meeting requests or emails and stuff, and I'm taking notes about, I got to call this person at this time or whatever. So sometimes I'll admit, I sometimes do tune out, especially, and I love Ticket, but sometimes, when Ticket goes on his 20 minutes kind of monologues, because a lot of times he'll talk for 10 minutes and then just repeat the same thing again for 10 minutes. And I love him for that because it lets me catch up. But sometimes it'll be like, okay, he's talking about, or when we're talking about, I don't know, let me think. We're talking about Denver and he starts turn it into a conversation about Jordan. I'm like, all right, let me go do some work. And I'm not throwing any shade at him at all. I say this all the time. I love Ticket. But I know when I need to listen and I know when I don't need to listen. I can multitask. So I start doing some work because I got people to feed. So I don't remember him saying because I would have Barkley at 12 would have definitely been like,
to be honest with you, we had a conversation about, I didn't even get involved in it because I was like, man,
Barkley at 12 is crazy. So that means if Jokic wins, he moves into 12 or 11.
I feel like we would have to sit down with Ticket and get his take on that because I can't in my mind fathom how he has him at 12. Like, how does he? How? Why?
I do love this though. You got it. I love this. I love this because it's You didn't hear me. No, Fluent. No, you didn't hear me though. Hold on, sir. Love.
That's him.
Yep.
That's Ticket. Right. That's my man, yo. No doubt about that.
Maybe you guys can on the next panel dig a little deeper.
I like this.
The Toronto job.
Tone. Okay, Tone. Oh my God.
Yes.
Wow.
H, what do you mean? Yes. First, he's gonna GM the Knicks. Okay, and then he's gonna GM the Lakers. He's gonna GM the Lakers. He's gonna give the money back to the Knicks. By the way, if this doesn't work, he's gonna give the money back to the Knicks. Right? He's gonna give the money back to the Knicks.
They slept on him. They don't deserve him anymore.
That's right. I've been giving him that offer for 2 years.
Yep.
Then he's gonna GM the Lakers. Rob Pelinka's out. Tone is in. Okay, but now he's gonna GM the Raptors. Tone, which one is it? You can't work for all 3 of them.
It's close to home.
Yeah, I have 3 jobs.
Why not add another?
Actually, wait. If you think about it, hold on. You know how many jobs I have?
I don't, Tone. How many jobs?
I got the 3 businesses.
Okay.
If we count the podcasts, and I'll put all the podcasts because I do Fluent Chill, I do Gridiron, I do the panel, I do the Raptors Roar, and NBA Rebound. So I'll put all 5 of those together in one. I do the ESPN Radio once a month. So I'll put that all into one.
TikTok. Well, like content
So,
creation.
so hold on. So content creation for TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. So that's fine. I coach my son's basketball team. There's a lot. I feel like I'm missing something else too.
Yes. How about the fact?
husband?
I was just going to say, how about Mr.
Hello?
Fluent? How about that? There's a Mrs. Fluent, which means
Your
there's a
husband?
Mr. Fluent.
Yeah.
So if there's a Mrs. Fluent, that means there's a Mr. Fluent. So
She'll tell you I don't do nothing at home. So, so I'm very lucky when it comes to that. But yeah, so it's just like the reason I say I'm putting it out there, whether it's the Lakers, the Hornets, the Knicks, I'm building up a bidding war, and whoever comes with the best offer.
I didn't think about it like that. Okay,
Like
so
listen, you guys don't listen. I'm gonna let you in on another little secret. You know how, because I'm catching a lot of heat for this, so I'm gonna put it out there.
Okay.
You know that whole thing about with Low and the basketball reference in the glasses? Well, I told you guys on the panel, I just made it as we were talking. Remember that? So what you don't know, or maybe you don't know, I posted it on TikTok. And this is the kind of businessman I am. Again, I'm pulling the curtain back and teaching you guys something. I'm not a troll. I'm not a dick. I'm not an asshole. I don't call out other people. Okay, to be a douchebag. What I do is I messaged Low and I said, hey, here's the video. You cool if I post it? Because I think it would be funny. And he was like, yeah, absolutely, do it. And that's the only reason it went out, right? There's a difference. There's levels, right? Certain people are just immature and they like, they're just insecure and they feel like, they never let things go.
Right.
I'm a professional. I'm a businessman. I look at where the opportunities lie. So yeah, I'm going to keep telling the Knicks, the Hornets, the Lakers. Look, I'm not probably, let's be honest, I ain't going to get a call, but you never know. Hey, if JJ Redick got a meeting, got a meeting with the Raptors, I'll tell you this.
Facts.
I've never interviewed for a job that I didn't get offered that job. Even if I was underqualified, because the two things I know, I might be a lot of things, but I interview like a mother effer.
You know it.
And I test really, really, really well. And I don't know why. Like if I do an IQ test, my wife is smarter than me. Mrs. Fluent is smarter than me, hands down. But we do an IQ test, my score is off the charts. For whatever, I did my SATs. I didn't study. Back in the day when 1600 was perfect, I got a 1450. Exactly.
Which means, ladies and gentlemen,
with testing.
If this dude right here is getting a call from the Washington Wizards about their GM spot, he's getting the job. Just so you guys know.
If they let me come in and talk, because here's another thing. You have to know what the end game. This is where people, whether it's a debate or for a job, whatever. This is you have to know your audience. What is your end goal? What are you trying to achieve? Don't talk to prove something to yourself. My job is to get them to say, oh, we want to hire him, or hey, we want to vote for him. Well, then I'm going to do or say what is necessary to get that done. And I'll shut up now because that's way too long about that stuff. Here we go. Next.
Okay.
We're watching the Heat. Yeah, we're watching the Heat.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's a blowout.
Yeah.
Plus 24 right now.
Isaac Ford.
He just said, are you watching the Heat game? That's
okay. Angie, what is up? Hey fam, what's up? Rashad McCants said Steve Kerr is a better coach than Pop because he's winning and Pop is losing.
I do apologize. I was doing the super chats that were blocking you, and we forgot I have this screen where we can now see everything.
Angie, don't stop there. He didn't just say Pop can't win with bad players. He said Pop was a bad coach. That's what he said.
He said Pop was a bad coach?
He said, quote, and I actually was about to stitch this, but I was like, I am not getting
that. Are we talking about that Rashad McCants?
Yes, that Rashad McCants. And just so you guys know in the chat.
I think I saw that.
Is he trying to start his own podcast?
Just so you guys know, in the chat. And I was gonna stitch this video. I'm gonna tell this to you, and I'm gonna tell this to you guys, whether it gets out or not. Just so you guys know, whenever you say to me that I'm going to believe this guy over you, I'm going to believe this guy who played in the NBA over you. Just remember, Rashad McCants played in the NBA, and he's saying stuff like this right here. This is the same guy who said,
I keep saying, just because you played doesn't mean
Greg Popovich. I don't think Greg Pop. His exact words were, "I don't think Greg Popovich can coach because he can't win without good players." End quote.
Who's won without?
That doesn't even make sense.
I actually watched it. I watched it like 2 or 3 times in a row, Tony. I wanted to make sure that I heard what he said. I was like, wait a minute, did I hear that correctly? That he said that you're a bad coach because you can't win without good players.
Does he have beef with him or something, or a Spur, or what's the story?
Is there a coach that has won without good players?
None, 0, not one. Name them. I'm all ears.
You know what's funny? If you ever want to have fun, anytime someone says, because I don't know if you get it, I get it. You never played in the NBA. You have no, the guys who played have more knowledge than you. I always ask them to name their top like NBA coaches. I go just top 3. Do you know whose name always comes up?
Pop.
Do you know who never played in the NBA?
Pop.
Pop and Spell.
So I guess he knows a little bit more than people who actually played, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yes,
I always wonder, like, I'm sure it's as a player you respect a guy that's played, but
not every player studies the game or like knows the history of the game or
has like
whatever.
a natural
or knows all the
IQ.
Let's be honest, even know all the rules of the game. You know how many times guys said, "Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a rule."
Or is quick on their feet to make decisions. Like you have to have. There's a lot that goes into being a coach, I'm sure. Yeah, that's a good point. Weird statement. Okay. Heat down 16 currently. I don't see a comeback, and even worse now. Tonight, how huge is the game 6 for both teams? Any chance we see history?
Well, Tone, I got a Hollywood story for you really quickly. And
I like Hollywood.
I'm wondering if this is poetic justice. So they lose here. The Heat lose tonight. They go back home. They lose again.
Ooh.
They come back to Boston and they beat them. And Jason Tatum misses the go-ahead 3.
Oh. Why can't he miss the go-ahead 3 in Game 6?
You think it's just going to come all the way through around?
Poetic justice.
Wow, the scriptwriters are working overtime.
Crazy. Wow.
I'm just putting it out there because I'm not, to be honest with you, that was something that I was thinking about, but I'm thinking to myself, I'm not sure if they get.
You're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna have a hard time convincing the conspiracy theorists that this isn't scripted if that happens. You'll never hear the end of it. That's crazy.
Of all teams to come back or like to make history in this way, please don't let it to be Boston. Like, please don't let it happen.
I already got your tickets. I'm getting you on this Jason Tatum train. I'm telling you, I'm going to get you on this Jason Tatum train. I told her before you had stepped away, Tone. I told her that there are some cars on this train that are a little smelly and the ride can be a little rough, but the majority of these cars are luxury cars. I'm letting you know that right now. And the majority of the ride is smooth and the scenery is great. But there's some bumpy ride. There's some bumpy waves around here too. And some of these cars are smoke filled and it's nasty in here. So you might want to stay out of those. But I'm gonna get you on this Jason Tatum train, H. I am.
You know what, Jay? I think if I saw him play live, I never have, and so I feel like that would probably be a big changer if I got to see him live. Because that's just like a natural thing for me when I get to see players live. I'm usually like, you can just see so much more of their game and get a feel for them. So maybe next season I'll try to go see him and see what I can do. But I mean, this thing isn't over. At least we're not sitting with like 2 weeks of time off. We're still getting to see basketball every other day. It's good basketball. It just sucks to see Miami because they lost Oladipo, they lost Tyler Hero, they lost Gabe Vincent, and now it's just like they have so little to work with, and yet they've done so well. I just don't want to see them go down like this, But anything's possible. To answer your question, anything is possible. They might come back.
I need to put this out here real quick. If you are still watching, Harley, if you're still watching, in the chat, please let me know if you want me to read your super chat out loud to everybody. I'm going to give you this opportunity. If I don't hear from you, I'm going to do it. But if you say no in the chat, I will not read it out loud.
Was it a super chat?
It was a super chat, but we'll just see what he says. There's the next one.
He says, that's me, do it. Okay, Double P. I saw the photo of Bill, Kareem, Jim, and Ali. I knew Jim Brown was an activist, but I didn't know he was a big advocate like the other guys I listed.
Yeah, he was. Jim Brown was a big deal.
Jim Brown, absolutely.
And not just in the 60s. Jim Brown was instrumental in getting the Bloods and the Crips together in the 80s in Los Angeles. He was a big advocate of that. Trying. Yeah, he was a big advocate of that too.
And he if I remember correctly, he's the one that really helped bring like Kareem and Muhammad Ali in with Malcolm X, right, to some of those rallies. So yeah, he was listen, that a lot of times those guys are remembered in certain areas more for that than they were their play on the field. As they should be. All right, so all right. Yo,
Harley.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
He said do it.
Okay. Yo, Fluent, you responded to me earlier on TikTok about open court and their accusations. You didn't hear that from me, though. I'm trying to hop on and don't need the snitch label. I'm lost. I don't know what's happening.
So I haven't seen it yet, but Harley reached out to me on TikTok and said, hey, yo, Dub and Mars are on Never Been in a Gym, and they're talking shit about you and stuff, right? And I said, well, what are they saying? And they're saying, like, I don't know, something going back to the Black Friday event.
Oh no. Okay.
So I'll check it out, and if it needs to be addressed, we'll address it. But at the same time, after Black Friday, I think the day after I gloated and I never thought about it again. So if Mars and Dove are still caught up on the Black Friday event, sorry guys, you need to get a life, really. Like, move on. It's been 7 months. So
you and Dove are beefing again?
Not that I know of, but maybe.
We'll have to get the whole story.
I have no idea.
I've already. You already know how I feel about it.
For it.
I am very much in favor of getting that relationship back to its toxic state. 100%. I do not like this love affair between.
It's weird. It's strange.
Not liking it at all. No.
As I've said, I don't care enough about anybody.
No.
It's the calm before the storm.
And I'm not the bitter ex-boyfriend, but in this particular situation, I'm absolutely the one. I'm absolutely the one in school starting the rumor. That's me.
Okay.
I'm the one in school starting the rumor. I'm telling everybody that you sleeping with this one and that one. Yeah, but I'm not the bitter ex-boyfriend. But in this particular situation,
Are you sure?
I'm doing that.
I don't. And this is no disrespect. I'm sure it's a great show. It just comes on at the time of the day that I'm busy, so I don't watch. Never Been in a Gym, so I don't know. But I'll go check it out. But again, if they're talking about something from 7 months ago, like, kind of.
Yeah, who knows what those two are on about, but Vaughn, is Kevin Durant starting to look overrated?
Well, where do you have him rated at? That's the $1 million question.
Always the question. Where do you have
him? And we recently covered this where Fluent stuck it to us that he was right about KD not being a superstar at this point currently, just because he's struggling, been hurt, and he's on the end of his game, I think. So I
got roasted for that, man. A year ago, I made a video saying, "Are we seeing the beginning of the end of KD?" And you are a hater. You're a KD hater. And I'm like, wait a minute. I did not say that KD was over. KD clearly still has the goods. However, he's going to be. This was last year. I was like, he's going to be 34 on opening night. He's already had 2 seasons. He's had a season-ending injury. He's missed half the season twice because of injury. He's starting to break down.
We should have a rule. If anyone asks the question, is X player overrated or underrated, you got to tell us where you have them or where you have them rated.
Right.
Yeah.
Is Kevin Durant starting to look overrated? Well, if you have him at 30, no. If you have him at 5, hell yeah.
Yes.
Right? So
where you have to give us more details because
he might be properly rated.
Because as of today, I still think Kevin Durant is a top 10 player in the game. I do believe that.
In the game.
In the game today, absolutely. I think he's a top 10 player. Now, if you told me that KD was the 3rd best player in the game today, no. I ain't
probably, I say he's low.
I'm not doing that.
Stuff's better. Okay, Huncho. What were the talks narrative
I don't
when
think you
Dream...
just slide that in. That's better.
Stuff's better. Okay. The narrative when Dream destroyed the Lakers in '86, like, was he automatically thrown into the greats convo because recency bias?
No, he wasn't, because he was only in the league 2 years. That was only his second year at that point. So they were talking about how good they thought he was going to be. Not only did they talk about how good he was going to be, they were talking about him from college, him turning into that great player. And they were talking about that Houston team who they were decimated because of drug problems. But they were talking about Hakeem Olajuwon being the future of the NBA because he had outplayed Jabbar. And just so you guys know, like you just mentioned, my man, in '86, when they had won, when Ralph Sampson hit that whatever no-look shot in the Western Conference semifinals, when he hit that shot, just so you guys know, Olajuwon was thrown out of that game in the first half because for fighting. So he didn't even play in that game. He got thrown out. I believe it was the third, not the first. I think it was the third quarter. He got thrown out of that game for fighting. This is Olajuwon in his second year. But they were talking more about how good the Rockets were going to be in the future because of Olajuwon. They weren't talking about him in a GOAT conversation. Nah, not yet.
Oh, hold on. We might have some recap. Rico, please tell me more. So has anyone addressed Fluent and his scripts? Fluent, they said you cheated in the debate, in the dub debate. So they're going back 7 months to say I cheated.
You had notes or something?
Because I have my pencil. You want to see my notes? I'll show you my notes. I have ADHD. Here are my notes. I draw pictures and I write what I want to say next. So if drawing pictures is cheating, then I'm a cheater, baby.
I'm sure Dub had his notes too. Okay, is that the last one? 10:30 or 7:30. You said. Do we have a something?
Yeah, he's not here yet. When he gets here. Okay. Only losers complain after they lose. Like, it's quite the loser thing to do.
Okay, rookie of the Violet Hour. Kim and Wei late love the show. What 3 teams might be the true catalyst for trades this year? Interesting.
What teams might be the true catalyst for trades this year? So,
what 3 teams?
Three teams might be the true catalyst. Well, I think Phoenix already made their blockbuster trade. I also think that Brooklyn already made their blockbuster trade. I think that Toronto, because I think Ujiri is up to something up there. I do. I think he's up to something up there.
How about Atlanta?
I think that they could be up to something in Atlanta. I do think that they're up to something in Golden State too. Your boys, H. I don't think that that's I think you guys. But this is what I want you to do, H. Relax. Curry ain't going nowhere. Okay, let's get to the bottom of that. Curry's not going anywhere. Add that to the fact that, unfortunately, H, this crew can't stay together forever. They can't. I know you want them to.
It's Draymond, isn't it, Jay?
I know you want them to, but this crew can't stay together forever. We have to do something else. Unfortunately, I know you don't want to hear it, H, but that has to happen. So, Portland, I think that they're going to be in the market. Yeah, I do think that they're going to be in the market.
Are you thinking more like an AD and Ayton, or more like a Trae Young guard? Like, because they got to do better than get it just like a Mikal, like just 1 or 2 guys. Like, they need to make a huge change if they're doing something.
I think Portland moves off of Dame. I do.
No.
I do. I think they built. I think they're looking to use a 3rd pick to bring something in for Dame. So I could see Portland being big. I do see Toronto really shaking things up. Again, depending on what LeBron's future is, the Lakers could be, or they could do nothing. I'm trying to think. Is there a team that's just like?
What about Dallas? Is Kyrie?
I think Minnesota. I think Minnesota already made their blockbuster trade. I also think Dallas did too. I think Dallas is going to bolster whatever they need to bolster in free agency, and see what they can get from that aspect, because I think that they gave up a lot for Kyrie Irving. I can't really see them again making another blockbuster trade. Yeah. Look for Washington too to make a splash. I wouldn't be surprised if they put Bradley Beal on the market.
That's a good point, because where is he with his contract? Is it 2026?
He just signed that extension, but I wouldn't be surprised if they put him on the market, or if they put Porzingis on the market.
let me just throw out a name, and we got a bunch more super chats, and my special guest is here waiting. So, with everything going on with Dylan Brooks and John Morant, do you think Memphis could blow it up?
Well, they already said they out on Dylan Brooks, which
yeah.
They already said they out on Dylan Brooks.
Bane just had surgery, so he's gonna miss a good portion of the early season, right?
And I don't know if they blow it up, Tone, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a significant change.
Okay. All right. Let's get to give me 1 second, special guest. I know you can hear me. Let's jump. Let's kind of try to go through a couple of these.
Yep.
MC Robinson, I'm a baseball guy and Ken Griffey Jr. is my GOAT in baseball, but Chill, you are a historian in basketball. I'll challenge you with this. Who is the world career home run leader?
The world career home run leader. Well, it's not Pete Rose.
The world, it's a trick because it's not like Barry Bonds or someone in the MLB because it's a world. I think it's a trick.
Right. I think it's what's his name? I think it's who am I thinking about? Suzuki. Used to play for Seattle.
Ichiro Suzuki? No, he's a contact hitter.
That's the only guy. That's the only guy I got. I was thinking about him.
Tell us, MC Robinson, because we don't know.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about.
I've already told you I don't know baseball.
Yeah, me too. Angie Carr, thoughts on Wemby, Bronny, and Braun lead the Spurs? Braun leads Spurs. No. Angie, are you? She's not a Spurs fan, is she?
Maybe.
I'm wondering. Are you a little biased here with this one?
Maybe.
No, but no, I don't think that's
happening. Not happening.
The fact that Bronny might not even play in the league, we have to prepare ourselves.
No, I think he'll get a shot.
Okay, Dorian Clayton, Fluent, you the best. But earlier, Dub and Mars was wild trying to expose you. I'm looking at notes the last time you went against Dub.
Yes.
So
let me. I said this earlier in the show, Dorian. Like I said, when people are talking, because I've admittedly have a really bad memory, I will jot down what I want to say next. And like I said, and I draw a lot of pictures because I've done that since as early as I could hold a pencil. So again, but let me say this, and this is for who is it here? Hold on, I have it here somewhere. Recap Rico. If you're not cheating, he says you're not trying, but actually Recap Rico, it's if you're not cheating, you're not competing. So there's man, it's about winning. And you probably missed this, Dorian, because I think this maybe started from the thing with Lowe about the basketball reference in his classes. Me and Lowe conspired, dude. It was funny. Like, you guys can't take a joke, bro. Like, I asked his permission before I sent that out. Jeez, y'all sent it, man.
Okay, Double P. Who's the better basketball guy as in the totality of player, coach, and executive? Pat Riley or Jerry West? I'm leaning the logo. What's your answer?
Jerry West, easy.
Yeah. I think it's Jerry West.
Just Jerry West was such a better basketball player. Speaking
of, did you guys hear about Steve Nash? Possibly some team, was it Toronto that were inquiring about him? Yeah. What are they?
You hate it, Tone?
I hate it.
You hate it, Tone?
I hate it.
Really?
And I love Steve Nash
as a player.
I hate that. I don't like that hire at all.
Okay.
I don't like that hire at all.
Okay, Daro Leanin. Should Brooklyn try to pair Dame with McHale? In Portland or in...
I don't hate it.
I don't. Brooklyn, so it would be...
Like I said, I already said earlier, I think McHale will have high trade value this season to any
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
But the Brooklyn will need more.
Yeah, and the word is that number 3 pick, and Brooklyn has already made it clear that they're not interested in trading Mikal Bridges. So... let's kill that right now. They're not interested in trading it. So
okay. Sada Haru, a Japanese-born baseball player. His career number is 868.
See, I knew that's when he said world. I knew there was a.
Yeah.
I said Suzuki.
Yeah, but this is not. This is Sada Haru. It's fun because you know how I know? Because my son and I play this game. Guess the NBA player and. By the teams in order. So we'll list out the teams in order, and you have to guess the player.
Mm-hmm.
But if he doesn't say guess the NBA player, if he says just guess the player, he's trying to trick me with like a Euro League guy or like a G League guy, and you gotta watch those words. They try to trick these kids. They trick you.
Okay.
Trick it. Sorry.
Why send money? Chill. After Shaq's MVP, how did you guys celebrate?
He didn't really care, to be honest with you.
Really?
No, he didn't. And the reason why he wasn't really tripping on it is because he wanted to win the NBA championship. That's when it got serious. He didn't really care too much about the league MVP. He was happy about it. It was like, yeah, I did do that, but he was like, I want to win the league MVP. I want to win the NBA championship. Then we could start talking. That's when it became something else. Something
just
completely
so locked
different.
in.
Mm-hmm. He was happy about winning the league MVP, but he didn't care nearly as much.
Yeah.
It was like, yo, I won the league MVP, great, but all right.
Okay, Rob, how good was Larry Bird as a coach?
Good, yo. He won Coach of the Year.
Really
took them to the NBA Finals, which is kind of ironic because he didn't think he was a very good coach. That's why he quit.
He's one of the few like great players who was a good coach.
Yes.
I feel like it's mostly the not great players that are really good coaches, right? Like, but he was one of the few. There's some that were good, but he's. And I always it's a hockey reference, but I always think back to Wayne Gretzky, right? Wayne Gretzky was like, he went and coached the Phoenix Coyotes, and he was horrible. And they asked him, and they said, "Yo, how come like you're such a great player? How is it that you know?" And he said, "The problem is, I would tell guys, hey, do this," and they would be like, "Well, I can't, right? Like it's just I can't do it. I can't think or move that fast." And he goes, "No, I just did that naturally. You should be able to do it really easy."
Right.
And it's just, well, yeah, because you're the greatest hockey player of all time.
I can't do what you do.
You just did it naturally, right? It'd be like, Jordan just saying, "No, just fake like you're going back to the sideline, go baseline and dunk it on Ewing. Easy." It's like, I can't do that, right? LeBron, just barrel through everybody and dunk it. I can't do that.
The one guy, Tony, that I think about all the time is I watched Bo Jackson run up the wall, and he ran up the wall after he caught that ball, and he's looking at everybody like, you can't run up a wall. No, Bo.
What's wrong with you?
No, you're the only one who can do that, Bo. I mean, in fact, you're not the only one who can do that. There's only one other person who can do that. That's ninjas. That's it. You're the only one, Bo. You and ninjas. Can nobody else run up walls except you and ninjas? What are you doing?
Oh, that's crazy.
Trey, thank you for your super chat. And then Rolo555, best 7, 86 Celtics or 17 Warriors.
That 86 Boston team was damn good, Joe. That 86 Boston. Now, don't get me wrong. The Warriors from 17 with KD, I think they were awesome, but I don't know. I think that 86. I think that 86 Celtic team can get them. I do.
Maybe.
I'm taking the Warriors.
Thank you. All right. Is that all?
No, we got
Melo.
Sorry, guest. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Like this.
Yeah. All right, we'll do 2 more and then we'll bring him. Actually, you know what? Let's do this last one, and then we'll get to the. I promise. We'll get to the rest of them. But
yeah. Right, okay, Melo Williams. How good was Mark Price?
He was an all pro. First team all-pro guard, and this was during the same time when Stockton was running around, Gary Payton was running around. Mark Price was one of the better shooters in the game, one of the better long ball shooters, one of the most efficient guards in the game. The problem is that we have with guys like Mark Price is that he couldn't get past Jordan, so guys like that get discounted. We have errors like that where this guy like Ewing couldn't get past Jordan, so we forget how good Ewing was. Mark Price, he couldn't get past Jordan, so we forget how good Mark Price was. A 50, 40, 90 guy. He was awesome.
And Mark Price would love today's NBA.
He would be awesome in today's.
So let me preface this with, you did a TikTok talking about LeBron James and how he said, "Hey, I got to think about what I'm doing next, but I still think I'm better than 95% of the players in the league."
Correct.
Which means there's probably about, I think you challenged TikTok to say, tell me 25 that are better.
That's what I said. 25 guys.
Well, friend of the show, my black and white NBA film finder, Sebastian, thinks he has an answer for you.
Let's hear it.
Hi,
what's up, man?
Hi, show. Hey, Hailey.
Hi.
What's up?
What up?
So,
you got 20?
chill.
Okay, go ahead.
Chill, you intrigued me with your TikTok. It was a really big challenge, but I think subjectively you could probably say these players have a shot at being better than LeBron James this coming season. All right, so let's start off.
So this coming. So
do you have these written down, or do I need to write them down?
No, I have them on the screen.
So going into the 23-24 season, they have a shot at being better than him.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear it.
Or could be better now.
Okay, so could be better now.
So for the ones you don't think, I'm gonna type them down and then we'll go over it.
Okay.
All right, so we're starting off. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, Stephen Curry, Jason Tatum, Jimmy Butler. All right, Anthony Davis.
Come on, Sebastian. You know him. Oh, no way.
You're at 8.
That one, okay.
No, you're at 8. I think when healthy, you're good. Keep going.
No.
Yeah. 2 more.
Devin Booker.
All right, D-Book. I'm marking D-Book. Go.
Okay.
1 more.
Damian Lillard.
Okay, that's 10.
That's 10.
It's 25. It's 25 in total.
That's
We
10.
got
You're
15
already
more.
getting some grunts and groans at 10.
I gotta go 15 more.
We got 15 more.
Let's go. Go faster.
All right, Shea.
No, I don't love that one. But okay.
Jaylen Brown.
No. But okay.
Wait, these are players that could have the potential of being better than LeBron James by the end of their
Next
career.
season? Is that what we're talking about? Next season.
Yeah.
Oh, just
Yes.
next season.
Yeah,
Okay.
just next season.
Oh,
De'Aaron Fox.
No.
Kevin Durant.
No.
All right. Kawhi.
If he's healthy.
If he's healthy, but
Yeah,
10 more.
10 more. We got super chats. You know, we got to finish them.
that's
All right.
tricky.
Jamal Murray.
No, but okay.
Paul George.
No. But go ahead.
Kyrie.
No.
definitely not.
Go ahead.
Oh my god. Ja.
We're at 17 right now.
Ja. I'm at
Ja.
Brunson.
19. We're at 19. We're at 19.
We're at 19. We're at 19. Ja, no, but go ahead.
6 more.
Mitch.
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell.
Okay. 5 more. 5 more.
All right. Pascal Siakam.
No. No way. Go ahead.
All right. Anthony Edwards. I know you like him, Chill.
No, but keep going.
Okay.
DeRozan.
No.
Definitely not. That one.
And then
What is
Bam.
that? 25? Was that
Bam, that's only 4. That's only 24. He said
One
Bam
more,
at
yeah.
20. Bam at
4, I
24.
think?
No. Bam
Give me
is
one
at
more.
24. How many more you got?
That was it. I think it was all 25.
So
Of your 24, I just want to tell you because I took the
Someone
note.
said Porzingis.
I'll say 20. I'll give you 25. I only counted 24, but that's fine. Of the
Okay.
25, Jay said absolutely no to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of them. And you're allowed to pick 2 that you want to make a case for. So let me give you the 14. D-Book, Damian Lillard, SGA, Fox, Durant, Murray, PG3, Kyrie, Ja, D-Mitch, Siakam, Ant, DeRozan, Bam. 2 of those 14, so more than half of your list, 66% of your list. Tell me 2 that you want to make a case for.
All right. Was Brown one of them?
Jaylen Brown was one of them.
All right. There you go. Jaylen Brown.
Okay, make a case for Brown.
All right.
And tell me if I'm wrong, Jay. You're saying Brown, no, right?
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
And I'm a big time Jaylen Brown fan, so I thought he was going to be first team All NBA this year.
Let's hear the thinking behind this.
Okay.
All right. I feel for Jaylen Brown as the second option in Boston. It's really it's kind of difficult because they have kind of different roles. But
Hold on, stop right there, Sebastian. If you're going to sell me this, you got to sell it to yourself first.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to believe it before you can sell it to me. Sorry.
Jalen, all right, I got it.
In order for me to believe it, you got to believe it, and you don't even believe this.
Okay,
You're like,
wait.
well,
Maybe you
want to
pick someone else.
This, but come on, man. If you're gonna sell it to me, you got to believe it first.
Jalen Browns with those little hands can't dribble. Come on, man.
He's a good defender.
Come on, man.
He's a good defender.
Was Kawhi one of them?
No, Kawhi when healthy was okay.
All right, Jamal Murray.
All right, Jamal Murray. I love
LeBron. What was off Jamal Murray? Jamal Murray can more efficient. He can score the ball better.
So this is just to try to say that this player will be better than LeBron.
For next year will be a better player. Yes.
I feel like I'm on Shark Tank right now, and I'm like, it's a pass. I'm out.
And for that reason, Sebastian, I love you, man, but we're out. We're out. We're out. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you, brother.
Sebastian, he will be a guest on Sports Fluent when we do our recap of every single NBA championship, every season, from the beginning of time.
He will be back,
brother.
All right, brother. Yes, sir.
Have a good day.
Oh man,
that's a rough list.
Hold on. My man's hitting 40, and we can't find 15 players better than him. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Look, that's a discussion that could.
Is LeBron just that good, or is the league not as good as we think it is?
Well, let's make sure we clear, Tone. How many times have you heard, what era is this? This is the most what era?
The most talented, skilled era ever.
Okay, Jay. Here's where I would argue
that a 40-year-old freak of nature, we can't find 15 players better than him.
Here's where I would argue that point. When it comes to playoffs, sure, I think LeBron can turn up. When it comes to the regular season, I think that Steph is a better player during the regular season. I think that Kevin Durant can be if he's not hurt. I think Tatum absolutely will be. I think SGA, you laughed, but I think that he's going to surprise us. I think that he can average more points, rebounds, assists, be more efficient. I think that though that's a possibility for the regular season. It's just when it comes to that postseason where like LeBron is still him in the postseason. And I'm also going to dock some points from LeBron when it comes to the fact that he might only play 50 games, 55 games, and that's okay because he's older. So, so some of the guys you mentioned, like, sure, I think they were on that list. And the other 15, I would say no.
Not yet. 60%, that's 60% of the list, so we could only find 10 guys, and he's 40.
Well,
that's not 60% of the league, Tone. That's 60% of the list.
Of the top of the list. 60% of the list we disagreed with, which means there's only 10 players. So at worst, he's 11. How is he this?
He's still a top 10 player.
Again, the question is this: is LeBron that good, or is the league not as good as we thought, or is it both? I don't know. But let's get to the rest of our super chats because we can get out of here soon.
Okay, PCP, what are my Bulls' odds of trading for the third pick?
Actually really I love this. I love this. If the Bulls can convince Portland that hey, you need to upgrade the 5. We all agree they need to upgrade the 5.
They do.
And Vucevic would be an upgrade from what you have.
Right.
Yeah.
DeRozan as the mid-range guy to Damian Lillard's deep ball and Vucevic inside, and so maybe another piece maybe for that third pick. I think they think about it. I think they could do worse.
One of Portland's major problems this last season was rim protection. Vooch is not a rim protector, and they're not giving up the number 3 pick for Vooch, who is not a rim protector.
Agreed. No, it's not worth that. Not DeMar, who's getting old, and Vooch, who's a very good big.
So you're telling me a team of Dame. I always say his last name wrong. I say everybody's last name wrong.
Nurkic,
Simons, DeRozan, Vooch, and maybe they can get someone at the 4 who can block, who can protect at the rim. Isn't an upgrade over this year's team?
I think it would be an upgrade over this year's team, but they're still a fringe playoff team at best in the Western Conference.
Yeah, 100%.
Would you? Okay. I just saying they could do. Listen, if depends on throwing some draft picks. I don't know. Is there another player in Chicago that makes sense? I don't know. I think.
What about Zach? What's his plan? Didn't he want to leave the Bulls? Wasn't he kind of getting tired of being in Chicago?
Well,
or was that just like a prize for a higher contract?
He wanted to get paid. Yeah, he wanted to get paid.
He wanted to get paid, and I don't know. Were him and DeRozan getting along?
Yeah, they were. There wasn't a problem between those two.
Maybe if Chicago says, "Hey, you're our future. You and the third pick. We're gonna put you two guys together. We're gonna pay you. You're gonna be the center of our franchise."
Yeah. Maybe.
Then maybe that keeps him. Maybe that keeps him happy. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, Dorian. Yes, they are. They were doing this. Okay.
No.
They had all the open gym guys talking about Fluent exposed. He's like, why were they talking about you like that? Like so hard on your back. Fluent.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
Whenever you got to
I wanna know. Just cause I am your daddy, the chat swept your ass. Anyways, it's not my fault. Know who's voting. Play to the judges.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, we'll figure that out and get back to you next week.
No, we won't. Because I just like I haven't talked about it since. I'm not going to talk about it again.
Okay, Angie Gar, where's Jimmy's stock if they fall to Boston?
It's going to be a bunch of people that's going to look at Jimmy Butler like they looked at him in the regular season, like he's okay, like he's a good player. So if they end up losing, you're going to not hear. Jimmy has more to gain than he has to lose in this particular situation.
Yeah,
more than anything, he's got way more to gain than he does. It's not going to do much to his, because a lot of people. Like I said, I had Jimmy Butler as a top 10 player before the season started, and I still stand on that logic. But if they were to lose, it wouldn't be like it was something that. Well, we didn't think they wouldn't win the NBA championship anyway. So,
but let's be honest. In this culture of, I only look at what happened last week. Jimmy's gonna get cooked. Spo's gonna get cooked. They're gonna say how that look. I'll tell you. I guarantee you this narrative. Wow, LeBron James is so amazing. He carried that horrible coach who lost the only NBA coach in history to blow a 3-0 lead. He carried him to 4 finals and 2.
Maybe Spo isn't as good a coach as we think. Maybe Spo isn't as good a coach as we think he is.
Yeah, the narratives on Jimmy Butler, on Spo, more than anybody else, because the rest of the guys, they're undrafted. There's no expectation. Bam, be back in the doghouse. Like they'll all be trashed if they lose it, and unfair, and fairly and unfairly, right? Like you blow a 3-0 lead, you deserve some. But I think they'll take
your second and like fourth option.
Yeah, they'll take it way too far for sure.
Yeah, they will. PCP, Blazers said they want a wing. Give them DeFrozen. I'm telling you, a third pick is not worth DeMar
Not for the number 3 pick. No, knock that off. Kill it, H. Please, H, kill it. For the people in the seats, H, can you please help me kill it? Enough already.
3 players.
No, this is what Portland has to do. They either and this is what I think they should do is let Dame go, but he doesn't want to. So of course they're gonna prioritize him and what he needs for now, but they need to start fresh. They have Anthony Simons, they have Shaedon Sharpe. I heard somebody the other day say how special he will be if they can pour into him and surround them. It's okay if it takes him a while, but you got to reward your fans at some point. Like it's getting bad. Let Dame go and start fresh. Let Nurk go, but
what if
they're
Dame
not going to do it.
What if Dame doesn't want to go? What if Dame is happy in Portland? What if Dame? What if Dame likes being next to the Nike head office?
This is business at the end of the day, Tom.
It's Dame, yeah. I don't think he wants to leave, so.
I don't think he does neither, but.
Yeah. Okay, Double P. Let me try a closer matchup. Riley or Doc Rivers?
Riley. The better player, coach, executive?
Oh,
I'm sorry. I thought it was the better player.
Coach.
Because Doc was a better player than Pat Riley. Pat Riley's definitely a better coach and a better executive than Doc Rivers. 100%.
Riley. I think I figured you forgot the question.
Yeah.
Okay. Drink more water. Would Embiid to Portland for 3rd overall pick? Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, Nurk, 2026 first and a 2028 first. Be a fair.
If Philly did that,
yeah.
If Philly did that, yeah. If I'm Portland, I would do that.
But then what is Portland left with? They have no team.
We can we can fill that roster out.
You can build around Embiid and if you got your 1 and 5, you got your 1 and 5, you can fill in.
Yes, we could fill in the blanks.
Well, they still have some really solid guys on that team.
They still have Grant. They still have who else would they say? I don't know their roster as well as I should.
Forget Yeah, but they have some solid guys. That is when I was asked earlier this season though who I'd love to see Dame partner up with. It would be Joel. I think that
Yeah, I like that.
Incredible. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, PCP. At this point, give them Levine, Vooch, and Rosen.
I'll just give them the whole lineup. Just give them the whole lineup.
Let them go.
He wants his Bulls to be so good.
Yeah.
He's over them being bad.
Yeah,
So.
and they were so close with that season, Lonzo, and they were off to such a good start.
But let's be honest, the Bulls had a 10-year stretch where they were good, or no, 8-year stretch where they were really good, and like that's it. Like they're not a good historically. They're not a good franchise for the most part. Like don't get fooled by the 90s.
Yeah. Need to blow it up and hope Scoot falls.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Wait, real quick. Who you think Charlotte will take Scoot for sure, or will they pass?
I don't think they pass on him.
Okay.
I think.
How would that work with LaMelo?
I think they should, but I don't think they will.
Okay. MC Robinson, Fluent head over to Dub's world. He is down bad with the Heat losing really bad.
Oh no, he's probably drunk. Let him.
He's a Heat fan.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know.
I don't need to kick people like when they're down. Like I leave them alone. That's not
have
who
a way
I am.
of working out.
Yeah, it's not who I am.
Oh, the Heat will be okay. They'll win the next game.
Are you sure about that?
Nope.
It's looking kind of tricky. It's getting interesting. It's gotten really interesting now. So, oh no.
I was so excited for Denver Miami finals. I love both teams a lot. I think it could be fire, but let's be real. I guess Celtics versus Denver would probably be a pretty good show. Okay, and then PCB, you missed D Rose. Yeah, actually, I saw it today. Did you guys see that? He might land in Chicago. I don't know. I saw that today. Yo, Fluent, you got that game 6. Have a good birthday.
You did say that, Tom. You did say that.
You don't know because you're not on the panel, Hailey. So Tuesday is actually my birthday, but on Saturday night, apparently, I don't know. I think it's supposed to be a surprise, but I know there's the new NBA restaurant. I think it's the first in North America, I believe. The NBA restaurant. They opened up in Toronto, and so for my birthday, they're taking me to the NBA restaurant because duh. Yeah. So
who? Your family?
Like my wife and some friends. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who's all going to be there, but it's a surprise. Remember, surprise! I'll look surprised. I'm a good actor, if you recall.
Yeah.
I showed you the clips. So I was on a pilot for anyone that doesn't know. So anyways, so the hope was that we're going to go later so that we can, as we're going and eating and do whatever, there'd be a game on, and the game was Heat and Celtics game 6. And so when they went out and took a 3-0 lead, everyone was like panicking. They're like, oh no, we're taking them. There's not going to be a game on. Like, what are we going to watch? Like old reruns?
Yeah.
And so now we got
you have it.
We got the game.
Wait, what is an NBA restaurant? Do they is everything like basketball style?
Yes.
It's
like
the
NBA,
the NBA built a restaurant. So there's memorabilia. The floor is like a basketball court. There's hoops and stuff. And I don't know. I've never been.
They got one in Orlando. They got
one in Orlando.
Yeah, I've been there before. It's dope too, Tony. You'll have a really good time.
I did not know. So for me to anything basketball, like I'm in.
You'll have a really good time, brother.
And I always say this, I don't know how many people watch us and where they watch us from, but if you're in the Toronto area, DM me on Instagram, sports_fluent. It's open tomorrow at Tommy Douglas. It's a high school in Vaughan. Ben Lee of the Shanghai Sharks is going to be in there answering questions and teaching kids some skill development. So if you've got kids like 14 and younger that want to come out and meet like Shanghai Sharks, like that league, I know we make fun of the Shanghai Sharks, but that probably a top 5 league in the world. Like obviously,
just so you know, that Chinese league is a big time league.
Yeah, like Eric on his team is like Eric Bledsoe and others, right? Dwight Howard plays in that league. The Shanghai Sharks, FYI, it's interesting. I did not know this. Their coach got suspended 5 years for point shaving. So there's like a lot of cool stuff going on.
They got a statue of Marbury. They got a statue of Marbury built over there.
So this summer, the GTA Mavericks, the team that I'm a part of, We've got that. We got our shoe drive coming up on June 17th. We got Shea.
Right.
We got Shea to sign a jersey for us, and we're going to auction off a Shea jersey.
That's dope.
You never know who might show up.
Right.
I'm not going to say anything because you never know. Sometimes people cancel last minute.
Right.
We're going to have a lot of guys who play up here. A lot of guys who play in the NBA who live up here in Canada or from here. We're going to try to get them in throughout the summer into the camps and stuff. So come check out the GTA Mavericks if you're in the neighborhood.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Okay, it's cool. Yeah, keep us up. Maybe we'll get
Dylan Dynasty Brooks.
Hey, he'll be
teach you how to poke the bear.
Yeah, he'll be going somewhere.
Right. Last super chat, and then I know we got to go.
Oh, okay. Yo, chill. You think they should get Kyrie or just go all in on Reeves? And Fluent think NBA teams will start playing with the cap like NFL teams do when they kick the cap down the road?
Yes. No on Kyrie Irving. And if they're going to keep this crew, there's only two things that can happen here. They either got to blow it up or they got to run it back.
Yeah.
The summer should be interesting. And listen, let me tell you, a team like your Warriors, they can pay $500 million in salaries next year.
They're not doing that.
They're going to start rethinking. They're going to start rethinking.
Tone, that's in salaries. That's not. So when you talk about the luxury tax, and it just gets
no. That's with the luxury tax.
It doesn't make sense to do that. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense to do that.
The cap is like $134 million, and you're paying $500 or $480.
4 times that.
Crazy.
I got you.
In taxes.
Yeah, I don't know what next year is going to look like. Also, the flopping rule. Did you see that they're going to integrate it into like the G League this season? But they're going
to do it this summer too.
This summer, yeah. Yes, Angie. Favorite Jordans? Mine are 4s, 11s, and 13s. Yeah, mine are retro 4s for sure.
Mine were the 6s. I'm a 6s and 13s guy. I mean, I sent H my
fire
collection. The 6s and 13s. When Jordan in 91, when they came out with the white jerseys on with them black shoes, I was like, what are those?
I actually love my 3s. I gotta tell you,
those are fresh, Tone.
I love these. I think they're the 11s.
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
Those are fresh. I like those. Yes, those are fresh. 100%.
Smell that. Still smell.
Got that new car smell. I like it. New shoe smell. I'm digging it.
I just keep these here as a reminder of, who the GOAT is of shoes.
To be honest, because I worked at
no argument, right? The GOAT of shoes is.
The J's is. I'm still rocking J's. 100%. I'm still rocking J's.
You know what I really love? I know we got to go, but you know what I really love? I love when I see guys, especially on TikTok, talking about how Jordan sucks and he's overrated. Meanwhile, they got like a Jumpman logo hoodie.
Right.
See them walk in, they're wearing J's.
I
get it. He might not be your GOAT, but dude, you're wearing all of his gear.
Yeah. All right, you guys. We're gonna check out for tonight. Because I mean that game tonight was it's good. We're excited about it. We're excited to see another game coming up. Sebastian, thank you for coming on. Don't be heartbroken. It's a rough list to make.
Don't be heartbroken.
Right. Yeah.
Why would he be heartbroken, Hailey?
No idea. That's what he said in the chat.
Oh, he said he's heartbroken. Oh.
And then and shout out to the GOAT members. I don't have them in front of me, but you guys.
Oh, you want here? I'll give them to you.
Yeah. We'll shout them out. Comatose, Jeremiah Simar, Dorian Clayton, and then Avion Plummer. So shout out to y'all. And then of course King J as well. And we'll see you next Thursday for now. Okay.
Take it light, but take it.